Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well. We're back with a Total War single faction tournament. So today, players will be choosing one faction and playing those bad boys all the way through. So that is going to be the tale of the tape. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, we're back. Warhammer is here to stay. Don't you worry. And should be fun, man. Should be fun. I'm not playing today. I went a little bit too balls deep in playing some ranked Age of Empires last night. My hands are a little bit beat up. So just for the sake of my health, I'm going to be casting today. Yeah. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So we're just casting. We'll get a good range of games. First one is going to be, I believe, I don't know if he's playing Khorne today, but we're going to be casting an Outer Region game. Outer Region, one of our old school top players in the community, of course. Well, old school as far as Warhammer 3 goes, and Warhammer 2. All right, so taking a look over here at the tournament brackets, you can see Serkia got the bye round. We have Love Guru versus Alls. Bear versus Noctrum. Buy the Dip versus B6. Outer Region Renegade Moose is going to be the match that we're casting first. And then we have Exul versus Cheramis, Skander versus Icarus, Scrambled Egg Special versus Charix. So certainly from some very, very strong players. And there have not been as many tournaments lately. Has been a little bit of a, downtime in old Total War, but it's all good. It, rises and falls, always ends up coming back. But you can see top of our leaderboard is Tim the Wilder, Serkia, Housecat, Ghoul Baby. Now, what players are playing today who's in the top? Serkia might be playing. I saw them signed up, but I don't know if they checked in. Definitely a couple. Yeah, Noctrum is playing today. Bear is playing today. So we have the number 9 and 10 player in the world playing. Charix is also playing. He's ranked number 12 in the world, bringing it from the land of the pierogies here. And yeah, Outer Region as well. So we have several top players playing today. Going to be duking it out. And we'll see how that goes. All right. So just getting everything set up. Going to be joining the lobby in just a minute. And we'll go from there. What additional units are you hoping to see? I honestly have no idea. I really don't. I'm just happy. Yeah, I saw the announcement or the I guess publication or whatever they said yesterday, their statement. And yeah, I mean, I hope for the best. I enjoy the game as it is, but yeah, that was a pretty big blunder, the last DLC for sure. I mean, in a multitude of ways, but yeah, I just hope that we get reasonably priced DLCs. Yeah, I mean, a lot of what they did in Warhammer 2 is pretty great. They didn't need to veer too far from that, but we'll see. Yeah, the Akshina nerf is good, and that was during the hotfix, which was great. And it's certainly unexpected, but I'm going to be happily taking that. Today's battles are going to be domination mode. Most of what I do for competitive Warhammer are going to be domination games. Because in my opinion, domination makes a slightly better format for high-level competitive play because you don't need player-made rules to make the game playable. You don't have to enforce things that can be interpreted in a couple different ways. Granted, I still do enjoy land battles. I think in many ways, land battles can be aesthetically more entertaining at times. It depends on the circumstances, of course, but when those two armies collide, it really gives a nice thematic kind of look to things. But Ziggy, thank you for the 69, dude. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. Thanks for 3 years of great casting and community. Yeah, the king is back. Let's go. Thank you, Hams. Appreciate it. Don't worry, we're all, even if there's periods where I cover other games more heavily for a couple weeks, I'll always, find time for old Warhammer. So, all right, let's fire it up and let's get into the lobby here. Got to do this, make sure I have my map pack updated. I had to reinstall the game. It was having some issues, so I had to verify game files and reinstall this morning. So, but we should be good now. Should be fine. SFTs are my favorite. Yeah, they're my favorite. Dude, I'm having so much fun. And, yes, better to watch that double A cold game. Yeah, land battles, I think that's the thing. Land battles can be amazing to watch, but at times they can be awful to watch too and miserable. When it just devolves into SEM blobs and just things like that, it's just awful. There's pros and cons to both for sure. Yeah, assuming there's no cheese, for sure land battles can be really entertaining. I mean, it's what we did for years. I hosted so many land battle tournaments. All right, let's do that, and let's turn into the game here. It should be popping up in a second. Dude, Hams and Ziggy, thank you guys for kicking off the stream so hard in the paint. Thank you. And it should be appearing here. Hey, we got Empire vs. Tomb Kings. Very fun matchup. Grenade launchers, Hellstorm rocket batteries. All sorts of great stuff can be brought, although maybe not Hellstorms. We'll have to see. But it is going to be Tomb Kings versus Empire. So what this is going to be probably State Troopers, 4 grenade launchers, probably a cannon to deal with Ushapti. Boris Todbringer with a Bright Wizard would be my early guesses for the Empire. And for Renegade Moose, you can do a multitude of things. Just mass skeleton warriors, a couple of Ushapti Great Bows to counter wagons. As far as magic goes, probably still going to be seeing like concept magic. It's still really good, the army-wide healing. But again, you know, Arc in the Black is also quite great. Any factions? No, today anyone's welcome to be played. Ogres got nerfed in the last patch, and Kislev just had some nice changes to their Akshinas. Oh, great swords against the Tomb Kings. That's really interesting. I mean, greatswords have made a bit of a comeback in the meta, but yeah, we were close. We had Mass State Troopers with Bright Wizard and Boris, but I did not see the triple greatsword coming. However, greatswords will butcher skeleton infantry, but they're going to be very vulnerable against magic as well as some of the constructs, so should be fun, man. Should be fun. What do you want most in this? I don't even know what to expect in the Shadows of Change. Like, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. There are two Slaanesh players today. Ooh, okay, we got some scary Slaanesh being played. Somebody in chat saying, Bob, one of our tournament players and map makers, saying land battle is better for casual play, but domination is way better for tournament play. I think I can agree with that. Casual play, land battle is very fun. Like when I just play land battles with friends and it's just casual. But when you get into really sweaty land battle and just get these people like, you know, really, really harrying the edge of the rules, oh God, it's just pure misery. We've seen that a lot, you know. We've seen that a lot. But, you know, land battle provided some great moments for sure. I do still have a special place in my heart. All right, guys. So, loading into the map, it's going to be Road to Talabheim. The two players going to be duking it out, and we'll see how this goes. Yeah, man, if CA could have given us servers too, man, servers would be so nice. If we could get like not peer-to-peer connections for multiplayer, we would see such a massive growth. Last I talked to them, I think they said there was like maybe... This was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, but I think they said that there was, how many games? I think 4,000, around 4,000 games a day being played on Quick Battles, which I was like, that's not bad. Considering how terrible and awful the Quick Battle system is, imagine if it had a little effort put into it. Like you had good maps, obviously, which is something that we're hopefully going to be working on, and peer-to-peer connections. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that would be great for sure. That would be great indeed. Good afternoon. Hey, how's it going, Vic? Hope you're doing well. Dedicated servers would be amazing. Yeah, that would be the biggest one. I would actually love that for PvP campaigns too. That's another really kind of element of this game that doesn't get too explored is the PvP campaign. Man, it's really fun. Like I used to have a blast playing them with Professor Pone and just kind of messing around on that. But then like when you try and add more people, it just gets laggy and miserable. I remember when like Warhammer 3 came out, they were doing like sponsored streams and reaching out to like big streamers on Twitch and like, yeah, go play the multiplayer campaign, and you would just go to this like Twitch stream and just see like 8 people, you know, staring in their webcams with their mouths open, just waiting for other people to load in. I was like, God damn, what squandered potential, you know? Yeah, it's all good though. There's many aspects of this game that are great. It's done such a good job with the Warhammer Fantasy universe, and like I legit think that Total War Warhammer is the main reason we're getting Warhammer the Old World. Games Workshop's bringing back Warhammer Fantasy. So I think there's like a direct correlation with that. So I'll forever be grateful for that. I'm so excited for Old World. You have no idea. Currently painting up some Chaos minis and all sorts of great stuff. Badger Knight, thank you for the 20. Praise Sigmar, turn is back. Badger, thank you, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So it is going to be a Hammer of the Witches. So Hammer of the Witches is great. This thing hits like a truck, can counter Ushaptis, shoot at any big constructs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It takes down big threats. Got a couple spearmen guarding it. Front line is going to be State Trooper centric, so it is masked swordsmen backed up by Sigmar Sons and triple great swords, which I'm really interested to see their applications in the Tomb Kings matchup. I mean, they'll butcher Tomb Guard, not butcher, but they will win there, and they'll also take down Skeleton Warriors. But man, oh man, if the Tomb Kings have any sort of Screaming Skull catapults or artillery or Ushapti, for example, they can definitely take those guys down pretty hard. We got Boris Todbringer in the front. He's going to be used as a very cheap general of the Empire, which I like. You know, he heals in combat, so you could just plop this bad boy on an objective, and he's going to be kind of tough to take down. So we got Toddy up there in the front, and overall, I do like the army. No wagons, very different take on what you see in the Empire meta, but overall, it should be good. Aside from that, we got Spearmen into the Sunset for the Tomb Kings. Double Necrotech. Okay, so the Necrotech's going to be bringing their Restore ability, and what this does, obviously, as you would guess, is it restores constructs. So you use that on the Ushapti, you use it on the Necropolis Knights, and yeah, you can get pretty good value out of that. It's big healing. Necropolis Knights, in my experience, are kind of mediocre at what they do. But with Necrotech support, maybe they'll be okay. And against Empire, they should be fine. It's just against like other large factions that I find they struggle. And that's it. Kotzeb's going to be the caster, and he is going to be using what appears to be some of the DPS spells. So Usirians, we have Sockmet's Incantation of Skullstorm. Wow, like all the damage spells, and Sandstorm. So it's going to be DPS Kotzeb here, ladies and gentlemen. Looking to drop some fat Sandstorm, some Darude action on the forces of Sigmar. So the Empire Troopers going to be advancing up, preparing to do battle with the Tomb Kings here on this map, which looks more like an Empire territory. So I suppose they're, yeah, I think this is the road, something to Talabheim. I believe it's an Empire city in the back. Yeah, you can see. Oh, no, it's not. It looks more like a Beastman sigil of some sort. There's like a military camp over there. And I could have sworn there was like a city here, but I suppose it's the road to Talabheim with the giant road going through it. So yes, Sigmar blesses ravaged body. Now, Tomb King's calling out a couple Carrion, which is a great play. Carrion are excellent at diving artillery, and the main reason why is because they are infantry size, so spears suck against them, and they have 46 melee defense. So if you're trying to like fend them off with an Empire Spearman, it's going to take 10 years to kill them. But that's why you can see the Empire player out of region. I love this, parking the Free Company Militia here. So if the birds try and fly in, the Free Company Militia will be able to shoot them to pieces and also use their cutlasses and sabers to fight them up close. More Carrion swarming in. That's a huge, huge Carrion commitment. It might be a little bit overkill considering Hammer of the Witches doesn't really have too many good targets anyways. But so far, the Hammer of the Witches has been shooting at the Skeleton Spearmen here and doing a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. So frontline engagement about to begin. The first two forces going to be mashing against one another. So these swordsmen into these spearmen, and these swordsmen into these spearmen right here, and they will be duking it out for Sigmar. So backfield pressure here from the Carrion. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, but the Empire Army doesn't really have too many squishy spots. It really just has that one cannon, and that's it. So Toddy's going to be leading the forces of, it looks more like, yeah, it certainly looks more like a Reichland scheme, or, yeah, definitely not Marion, not going to be, Marienburg, but not going to be Midland here, but unless Toddy's, you know, he could be a homie with Karl Franz at times, you know, once they get past all the toughness. And, yeah, the skeletons in the front are going to be losing this fight. Swordsmen are decisively better. 32, 32, and 28 against 14, 30, and 24. So pretty massive stat line difference. But the Carrion Swarm is going to be flying in now, and I can't help but think that this is just going to be feeding a ton of resources to the Empire. We get more Free Company Militia being called in, so there are a bunch of those. But on that same note, the Empire is allocating a shit ton of resources to defend just their cannon, so their front line could falter a little bit. But nonetheless, there's going to be a Burning Head going down, and Kotep is going to be casting a Druid Sandstorm on those swordsmen, which in my opinion is a bit of a misplay from Renegade Moose. I think using that on the Greatswords is just exponentially better, and using your Winds of Magic on the Greatswords. Because the State Troopers, it's like whatever. You know, they're very cheap. Swordsmen only cost a couple hundred gold, whereas the Greatswords are almost 1,000, right? So that is going to be a little bit better. Now, frontline engagement is going to be big snakes, but they are halberd snakes, so halberd snakes will not be very good at clearing out troopers. Granted, you do get the second wave of troopers coming in, which are going to be Nehekar warriors. They trade very, very well into most Empire infantry, except greatswords. So greatswords, they're going to get their big two-handed swords out, their Zweihanders, and they will give the Dirty to these guys. You can see they're going to be getting that bonus for infantry, and the Nehekar warriors are decisively losing that fight, while the Empire player very, very nicely micros in those spearmen and moves them up to intercept the Necropolis Knights and keep them at bay. Now, backfield pressure, pretty much a disaster for the Carrion. And overall, I think the Carrion investment probably wasn't worth it, considering you see just one cannon. And now the Empire player is going to be sounding the horn of Sigmar and moving all of his troopers up. As far as the objectives go, we do see Objective 3 in the control of the Emperor, and Objective 2 is going to be controlled by the Empire as well, while Objective 3 is going to be owned by the Tomb Kings. Big Burning Head going down, tickling through those guys on the flanks. And the State Troopers holding pretty well. You know, as far as like chaff infantry goes, the Empire Troopers aren't bad. They definitely get the job done. And the Greatswords are battling away with Necropolis Knights. Now, two units that don't really have any business fighting one another, a Halberd unit versus an anti-infantry unit, you know, kind of fighting, you know, things they're not good against. But the Greatswords do have the numbers and probably will be better in sustained combat against the Necropolis Knights, who only have 18 models here, right, against the 114 of the Empire Troopers, who are, yeah, should be able to win that. Now, on the other side, a little bit of horseman action. I do like the Ushapti summon, so we see a new Ushapti summon here from the Tomb Kings on top of the cannon, which is going to be temporarily shutting it down. However, I do think that it would have been better to use the Ushapti summon on a greatsword, because that's going to be guaranteeing you like really, really good value overall, whereas like using it on a spear unit, you might be able to get the Hammer of the Witches, but there's also a high likelihood that you might not, because the spears might be able to fend you off. So Druid Sandstorm going down again, able to wreck some spearmen here, but Boris Todbringer is coming in with the steel chair, baby. He's going to be hustling across. He's got his cool feathered hat, and is going to be chasing down Kotep, who is going to be fleeing the scene, it would appear. Now, Screaming Skull Catapult is a great, great call-in for the Tomb Kings. That is an excellent choice against the Greatswords, but it doesn't look like it's targeting the Greatswords. It looks like it's going after the Spearmen, and the Empire does have a nice wave of powder coming up. So we got Free Company, and more Free Company back here. Those bad boys going to be shooting into the Necropolis Knights wherever they can. And there is another Vortex. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we needed to see a little bit earlier, is more magic focus on the Greatswords. Even still, though, the value does massively favor the Empire. The Empire seems to be crushing this Tomb King's army, as Kotep is on the run. Foot Toddy hunting him down, grenade launchers being harried, and a lot of this matchup does come down to the grenade launcher play. Tomb Kings need to use their Skeleton Horsemen to chase them down, and the Empire needs to protect them with Empire Knights and continue getting those grenades launched. But yeah, this is looking to be a pretty good victory for the Empire, just based on my experience and, you know, casting this old game here. It's looking like they're in good shape, but there is going to be an Usirian's cast on the grenade launchers. It's not Fate Buna, but it will do some respectable damage. The Empire is now pushing up to the third objective right here, so you can see that we do have the Free Company Militia hanging out. And they should be able to rip it, especially with these guys running in range. They're going to be getting their pistols out and ripping big old shots into these bad boys. So good night, Sweet Prince. There goes those guys back to the grave once again. So that is a triple cap. No, it looks like the middle might flip to the Tomb King. 7,000 against 4,000 value, though. The Empire Knights sitting in the back here could maybe intercept these Necropolis Knights with some spear support. Wouldn't want to fight them head on, of course, because they are anti-large halberds. But if they could find a little bit of support, a little bit of milk, maybe they could do it. Is there any semblance of a Tomb King's comeback? Let's see. So Tomb Kings do have their catapults in the back. Outer region, going to be sending some errant swordsmen back here to try and shut this down. If he's able to get that pick, that's going to be huge value. Unsummons for the Empire, doing a little bit of housekeeping all over the realm. And here we see the Empire Knights intercept the Skeleton Horsemen, which is going to be a decisive victory for them. But with the Necropolis Knights coming in Kotep, it's going to be a bad fight for the Sons of Sigmar. They're going to get wrecked pretty badly. So there go the Snake Knights. Fare thee well, Empire Knights. You guys did all right. At least you brought down a unit to a relatively low amount of health, and the Empire does manage to get his reinforcements up here. So we do see the Free Company Militia and the Greatswords arriving to the front line. Greatswords will butcher Carrion because they do have anti-infantry, and Carrion are infantry-sized. So the bonus force infantry on these guys will carry through, and they are going to be getting them Greatswords to chopping. Now, Tomb Kings, I think, are out of steam officially. Hammer the Witches did, I believe, get taken down and or unsummoned. Tomb Kings look to be making a play for the side objective, but everything they do is going to be kind of whack-a-mole at this point. They are down 3,000 value, and Tomb Kings do have some passive healing via the Realm of Souls and the passive Lore of Nehekara, the Restless Dead, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kind of salvage them, as maybe that would account for an extra 1,000 value, maybe, that like with their healing taken into account, maybe it's like 8,000 against 6,000 value. But in this case, I don't see that happening here. I really don't. I think the Empire's just going to come in, slowly clear them off. Grenade launchers are pretty much going unimpeded. There's no Shopti Great Bows. Nothing to really shut these down. Scream Skull catapults can, and Horsemen also can. But, you know, Empire players typically will always have Empire Knights in reserve. And, yeah, you can see Empire Knights coming out from outer region. And those Empire Knights are going to be hustling up into those Skeleton Horsemen and giving them the dirty. Yeah, Tomb Kings got a leadership nerf a while back, but they're still a very good faction. I think that Empire versus Tomb Kings can be a very even matchup. At times, I think Tomb Kings can actually do some things very well. But overall, I just feel that the build for the Tomb Kings was a little bit off. It used a lot of things that I would consider very inefficient. Number one being Necropolis Knights. Necropolis Knights are okay, maybe one as like a sweeper piece. But I just find that I don't know, let's see what the value on these guys is. It might be okay. Yeah, 1,400 ain't bad. So they paid for themselves, but yeah, those, and I think there's some other, you know, elements, like maybe some Ushapti Great Bows could have been good. There's only one Hammer of the Witches, so having like 2 or 3 Ushapti Great Bows, especially the Chosen of the Gods, to just pound into those Greatswords could have been incredibly devastating for sure. And here we see the Empire Knights chasing down these Skeleton Archers, and that probably will be game blouses. Yes. All right, so looking around here, we see a catapult in the back. Some Nehekar warriors and horsemen being called in, but the Empire just has so much on the battlefield, and they're going to be eclipsing 1,000 points, while the Tomb Kings are now just breaching into about 300 here. A little bit of flanking play. Tomb Kings creeping around, getting maybe a slight closing in the value gap. Not really, still 6 against 8.8. Boris Todbringer also, of course, does have access to good healing. Nehekar warriors going to be on their way in, but grenade launchers are just clearing out everything. Everything that tries to move in here, these grenades are just whipping out their fat powder weapons and melting these Tomb Kings troopers. Another Empire Knight charge, going to be running down the Nehekar warriors. Over on Objective 1, Free Company Militia and Empire Knights are getting folded up here a little bit. And Tomb Kings do hold on to this, but Kotep isn't like a huge raid boss combat character that's going to be changing the dynamics of the battle too much. His magic has been good, though. I like seeing DPS Kotep. I think it's very fun. He's gotten 2,000 value this game, which is great. It's actually really good. So he's been one of the big difference makers for the Tomb Kings here, but I don't think he's going to be able to carry this one too hard, as the Empire just has such a value lead that they're going to be able to just drown the enemy in units on the battlefield. One Ton Hammer, thank you for the 500 SEK. Thank you, man. Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas and Blood for the Blood God. Yes. Certainly two things I didn't expect to hear together, but I greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you. Blood for the Blood God, indeed. So Boris Todbringer, his mustache too powerful for these undead. Of course, they do not have mustaches, being skeletons and mummies and all. So clearly, Toddy's mustache has emerged victorious here today as they continue duking it out. Free Company Militia called in from the Vanguard in tandem with Empire Knights, going to be rolling over on this flank here. It's just Skeleton Warriors and some Nakar Warriors. Empire Knights will counter both of those units pretty effectively, I would say. And how do the Empire have the capture weighted? Oh, it's a Skeleton Warrior. Okay, they're expendable. That's right. I was like, how do they have the capture weight here? In the backfield, we see the last desperate throws here of the Tomb Kings desperately trying to get up to the points. A little bit of an objective flip in the middle, but should be pretty much shut down here in a moment when these swordsmen do arrive. Screaming Skull Catapult was really good. I mean, it's got about 800 value, so it's about paid for itself, but if it had come out earlier and been able to target those greatswords, probably could have done a little bit better for itself. Empire Knights from the bushes with the steel chair, those bad boys crumbling. Free Company Militia going to be arriving here, and the Empire might be able to win this point, although Necropolis Knights, yeah, they've actually been okay this game, so maybe I was a little bit wrong judging that. Maybe I judged you guys too harshly, but I still feel like opening with 2 of them is a little bit dicey, considering Empire might just open mass infantry and artillery, so... But yeah, I think 1 Necropolis Knight isn't a bad idea. Yeah, definitely not bad. I'm also looking from the perspective of an Empire player who uses a lot of wagons in this matchup, so, you know, Necropolis Knights would just be god-awful against wagons, so... Yeah, I do have my favorite maps. To be honest, with today's tournament, I just forgot to change the maps from my last tournament I had. There are a lot of new maps that are very, very good, and I do wish that I had used them today. So for the next tournament, I will make sure to do that. We'll have a couple more tournaments before I leave for Poland on the 21st. I'm going to be out of town from the 21st to January 2nd, I believe, is the tail of the tape. So going to be out adventuring in the old world in Poland. So we're going to be going to Kislev, and yeah, then we'll be back. We'll be back, and we'll be hitting it hard again and having some fun for sure. Empire charge, very erect, getting in there. Those skeleton boys getting run over by the might of Sigmar. Gotta love it. And here on this side, we do see the Necropolis Knights also getting run down. So that's going to be a triple cap. And now I think, I mean, it's been GG for a while. In the heat of the moment, it's very hard to kind of tell when a game is over when you're playing. Like, if I were in the Tomb Kings player's position, I'd probably be doing something similar, because sometimes you just stop looking at value and you're just kind of like focused on the objectives and your call-ins and all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's tough. Today we're just casting. Yeah, we're just casting today, guys. We're just casting. My hands are a little bit beat up. I've been streaming a lot of competitive Age of Empires and FFA games that are like super micro-intensive, and I've been playing in them, so my hands are a little bit kind of mangled today, so good to be taking it easy. So that's a triple cap there, and that will be a tap out. And I suspect that most of the other games will be finished here in just a moment. Empire Knights riding into the Ushabti, and now we see the Great Bow Colin, which I would have loved to have seen earlier. They would have been such a good counter against a lot of stuff. Granted, the you know, the Hammer of the Witches could have theoretically countered them, but what you can do is, if the Hammer of the Witches is sitting like right here, okay, it's sitting there shooting, you can park your Great Bows like off on the side and like line of sight the cannon and still shoot like the 2 objectives here. Or you can, you know, you can work with the terrain, and that's something I really like about Domination, is how terrain is, you know, pretty relevant. So yeah, GG, well played, fairly well to Renegade Moose. He you know, he did the old Tomb Kings proud, but Sigmar was too powerful. Outer region, obviously one of the top players in the world too, so certainly not an easy foe to face off against. All right, so checking here, seeing if we have a little bit of admin work to do. It doesn't look like it, and looks like those bad boys are finishing. Okay, so that, let's see. So we started at what time? It looks like there might be 1 game still going. Greatswords, 800 value, 1200 and 700. Wow. Greatswords did really good in the front line. Cannon got about 12. Toddy, 1600 on foot. That's awesome. I don't even know where he got that value from, but it must have been from hammering on Kotep. But, you know, one of the things I enjoyed most about this game was actually seeing DPS Kotep, seeing him being used as a damage character. I think that's really cool. The Necrotechs also seemed to die pretty early on. I don't know if they got all their restores off, so they could have been a bit of a disappointment. And one of the Sneaky Snake Knights did get wrecked pretty hard too. So yeah, I think more Ushabti Great Bow. You can even use Restore on the Ushabti Great Bows to help them trade into the cannons and whatnot. That could have been a little bit better as well. Hey Turin, who do you have? Yeah, yeah, that's right. The UFC's going on tonight. I just hope, man, I want Tony Ferguson to win, but I feel like he's just going to get, man, that's been a rough downward spiral for him for sure. But yeah, that would be fun to see. Oh, I'll have a lot of fun in Poland. Yeah, I'm very excited. Going to be feasting on pierogi and all the goodies. Heading back on over to the website now. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And all right. So checking here, Noctrum said his opponent crashed. So who's he playing? Okay, I think his opponent is in China. So it could be maybe some sort of a connection issue. We'll have to see. But here we are. So first round, we have Alls beating Love Guru. Outer region beating Renegade Moose. Scrambled Egg Special defeated by Charix. Serkia in the buy round. And yeah, then we have this match still going. A couple other games still going. But they should be wrapping up soon. So We'll see how it goes. All right, all right. Would you be interested in casting 4v4 team games in Age of Empires 4? I don't know. I prefer FFA or 1v1 myself. Team games I'm not as much of a fan of. I find it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, greatswords are awesome, man. I love greatswords. I like them a lot against... I actually use them against beastmen also, which is kind of weird because minotaurs and razorgores in theory are good against them. But if you can use them as like a piece that... Well, I guess they were better when Zangors were a thing. When Zangors were super meta, like greatswords were such an awesome hard counter against them. So... What did I think of the CA press release? I skimmed over it, honestly, and yeah, I mean, it's some nice words, and I you know, you got to wait and see what the actual, you know, actions are, of course. You know, a lot of companies will put out stuff like that and make it seem like sunshine and rainbows, but until you see the actual actionable, you know, initiatives taken, the changes being implemented, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, no, there's been a lot of fun games lately. Been enjoying Age of Empires 4 a lot. It's a lot of fun. But always good to get back to our roots here with Total War Warhammer as well. Right, Zentler's Reichsguard are good. Yeah, a lot of Free Company Militia. They're awesome. Free Company Militia are such a good unit. Really, really good. Yeah, having Vanguard deployment, decent fighting prowess and melee as well as shooting is great utility. What are your thoughts on doing videos on the basics of domination and army picking? Feels like the knowledge gap is big for new players. Yeah, you know, I think about it, but like the community is for Total War Warhammer multiplayer in terms of people actually play is pretty small. I feel like you can learn a lot of that by just watching the games being played on like tournaments and stuff. So that's why I never have really gone into it. But yeah, it's something I'd consider in the future. All right. The one reason I gave hope is because they gave partial refunds to Pharaoh owners, which is a huge. Yeah, that's definitely nice. Pharaoh definitely didn't tickle my pickle. There was not much about that game that excited me. All right, so let's check this and see how that goes. Yeah, they gave refunds for Pharaoh. Yeah, that's pretty big. I guess that's something I didn't really hone in on. I'm going to go refill my water real quick. I will be right back, my friends. All right. I return. All right. So we got a little bit of downtime. It is the Total War way, and we will see our next match starting hopefully here. So we started the stream at, let's see, it would have been 12:30, so 30 minutes ago. So they have another 15 minutes in the round. We give players 45 minutes to finish their games. So that's what we do. What is my favorite Death Guard unit? Probably the Blightlord Terminators. I know they're not the best nowadays, but I just love the way they look. They're so cool. Yeah, Pharaoh, wasn't Pharaoh like a $60 game or something? That's nuts. Yeah, Pharaoh felt like Thrones of Bretonnia to me. When I like looked at it, I was kind of like, is this just like another saga? I mean, that kind of felt like a saga game. It didn't feel like it was like a full-on Creative Assembly historical title, right? Three Kingdoms felt like that. 3K, and honestly, I felt like the campaign of Three Kingdoms was pretty fun. I didn't care for the battles that much. I felt like the hero units were pretty insane, but I mean, it's kind of like that in this game too, so yeah. CA is like Skaven. Never turn your back. Yeah. I want to know what the next new race will be for Warhammer 3. No word about it since Dwarf's hit. Oh man, I don't have no idea what that could be. I mean, what are we missing? So Warhammer Fantasy already. All right, let's see here. So let's pull this up here. I'm on the dreaded Wikipedia. Okay, so that's actually, yeah, that's just giving like, okay. Warhammer Fantasy, all factions. Okay, so looking here, this is what, some random Wikipedia page, I guess. So we have Bretonnia Empire. Okay, it's kind of like, yeah, this is weird. It's more like lore. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have Astalia, you have Tilia, you could do like a Marienburg thing. Albion could be really, really cool for sure. I think like doing like a, yeah, Albion would be really rad actually. Nippon, I don't think we'll see. I don't think we're going to see Araby. Ind is another one that could be pretty neat too. Yeah, there's a lot you could do, you know, and maybe CA will buckle down and do more new factions, considering like Warhammer is probably one of their only titles that's doing consistently pretty decently. Dogs of War, yeah. There's a fair amount. I don't think we'll see Araby or Nippon. I don't think we'll see either of those. Yeah, I really don't. All right, let's do that. Refreshing, seeing how we're looking here. We got another 12 minutes left. And yeah, just a couple games wrapping up here on Ye Old Total Tavern. Amazons? Could we see Amazons? I doubt it. I don't think we would see Amazons. Mousillon would be really cool, and Midland would be fun too. I think like the Empire is very popular, so you know, Troll Trader. Let's see what's cracking here. Let's go look at minis together, guys. This is one of my favorite things to do here. I was looking to start a dwarf army for when the old world eventually comes out here. So let me switch on over and do this. All right. Yeah, let's see what they got for dwarves for the old Dowie. This is where I've like ordered all my. I'm not sponsored by these guys or anything. They just, you know, I've only had good experience with them. But yeah, you can definitely get some decently priced stuff on here. Yeah, these are like partially painted. So like a lot of the dwarf models have aged pretty well, honestly. Like if you look, the Rune Lord looks really good. Here's Belagar. You could just use him as a generic dwarf lord if you want to. So Cogsmith, Iron Drakes look pretty great. Oh my god, the old Slayers are so haggard. Have you guys seen these guys? Look at that thing, dude. Oh my god, they're so ridiculous looking. Holy shit. They're so ridiculous. Well, the armies that I'm going to be starting out of the gates with are going to be Empire and Chaos. So I have a fully painted, ready to go Empire army for Warhammer Fantasy, and then for Old World. And then I also have a Warriors of Chaos army that's like, I don't know, 70% done. I've been taking a break from working on them, but they're getting there for sure. They are getting there. What is that? A Death Roller? Oh, that's for Blood Bowl. Okay, I was going to say. If that thing was actually... Thunders are pretty outdated, and so are Dwarf Warriors, but they're not like the worst. Probably pretty easy to paint considering how small they are. Hey, Mikey. I'm so stoked for the Old World. Fingers crossed for the release of Mordheim. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But we'll come. Hopefully it does well. I hope Old World does really well so it can get more support and stuff. You know, that's really going to be the determining factor, right? Okay. So looking here. The Grudge Pony. They should add this. They could add a Grudge Pony, right? What is that thing on the back? Is it like just carrying treasure or loot? Or maybe it's like a supply crate? So maybe the dwarves could have like a Grudge Pony and he pulls around this like thing and it like supplies nearby dwarves. Like an AoE healing engine. You guys want to face dwarves in land battle with a healing mortis engine? Hell yeah, dude. Let's get them in that box and just cackle all day. They probably have the OG Nagash Mini. We'll check in a second. We'll check. You can see all the old metal models. Man, those things are retro as hell. Holy shit. Corlers, they look all right. Corlers look fine. Rangers also look good. I don't know if they have any on here, but there's the Dwarven Cannon looking nice. Anvil of Doom. Yeah, it's retro. I you know, be careful about buying minis like from, you know, third party, because probably GW is probably going to be is this guy just not wearing any pants? Look at that guy, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's funny. Oh, the Thane model. That's cool. That's old school. That's old school. Yeah, look at that. That could be nice with a slightly better paint job. That could look pretty good. That could look pretty good for sure. Have you guys seen the old Nagash model though? Holy shit, that thing is an atrocity. They probably have some old ones on here. Okay, they have the new ones. It doesn't look like they have the old one. I'm not seeing him anywhere. They have the new Nagash model, which is obviously for Age of Sigmar. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, he's cool. Looks like a 40k model, honestly. Yeah, it definitely looks like a 40k model. Well, dwarves do have some healing. Bugman's Rangers, they heal passively. But that's pretty much it. They're not like super tanky. Give healing to Ironbreakers, dude. Let's go. Give Longbeards healing or Dwarf Warriors. That would be even the best. What other old models are really ridiculous? I mean, King, do they have the old school King Lewin here? They do. Have you seen him? King Lewin was definitely pretty haggard. Oh my god. Oh, look at that thing. Jesus, that's straight out of the 90s, dude. Oh my god. Hey, you know what? Shout out to the 8-year-old who painted this in 1990 whatever, right? Like, that's actually not terrible for like a child's paint job. Like the layering of the wings, I mean, there's no like blending to make the colors go together, but it still looks pretty good for like a 90s model. Shout out to that lad. Carl Franz looks good. Franz got a plastic model, but they have the old Franz on here. This is the old Franz, by the way. The new Carl Franz is the one I have, and he's a plastic. It looks really good. It looks just as good as any modern models. But then you have, this is like old France. You see, this is him right here. It's kind of hard to tell. You can like zoom in on his face. There you go. And you can see here's Deathclaw. Here's his legs and the little wings sticking up. I don't know. I think that's like a banner of Sigmar or something. Yeah. Too bad I was a 50-year-old man. Me who painted it 2 weeks ago fuming. Yeah, right, dude. Oh, yeah, Ariel. Is she in here? No. Orion might be here. Yeah, have you seen old school Orion? He could be worse. He could be a lot worse. Oh, God, look at the neck on that guy, dude. He's got no chin. Whoa, is that the paint job, or does just old school Orion just like have this square brick head where his like chin and face just melts into his neck? Because it looks like there's no facial structure on Orion there whatsoever. He looks like the guy from Total Recall, who's like the mutant who's like in the guy's back. He's like, Quaid. Quaid. Kind of looks like that. Holy shit. Dude, they have, oh my God, Astrogoth's model is really funny. Yeah. He only works out his neck. Astrogoth, do they have him? Bale Taurus. Drazhoth is a badass model, dude. Yeah, he's a badass model. This is like it's not a bad paint job. This is Drazhoth's model. It's kind of like, I wish they would do an angle you could see his face, but his model's really good. It's resin. It's resin. You know, it tries. Yeah, he's not bad. He's pretty good. Chaos Dwarfs have some of the newer Chaos Dwarf models are actually pretty good. The ones from like the past like 10 years. You can see here like I mean, Chaos Dwarfs have like a bunch of stuff. Bruno, thank you for the 10 zlotys. Hope you'll enjoy a bunch of pierogi. I will, dude. I'm just gonna be drinking pivo and eating pierogi every day. That's my okay, sorry. I was having too much fun looking at all these with you. I could seriously do a whole stream where we just laugh at old minis. That would be so fun. Yeah, the Orion was Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance. Oh my God, I love that. That's so accurate. All right, so next set of games. Sorry, I was getting carried away there. Let's go ahead and advance the brackets now and have some fun. Well, Orion's like out of print, but like the thing is, GW is probably going to be putting up all their old models for sale at regular prices again. So yeah, there's no don't get yourself ripped off on any of those right now. All right, so advance the Swiss. Open your mind, Quaid. Exactly. All right. So looking around here, okay. Do I need to adjust the scores at all? Let's do that, and we can do this. All right, so the next round is up. Next round is live. Oh, Serka, yeah, I'll get that. I'll get that for you right now. Sorry, I did miss that. Okay, and then we need to get that for Serka as well. I need to fix that so you get points for the buy round. I don't know why it hasn't been doing that. It's definitely an issue with the website. But there you are. All right. So perfect. The next lobbies are going to be going up. I will do this, and we will do this. All right, do that and that. And here we go. All right, so that should fix that. As far as the bracket goes, let's go ahead and cast. What game will not lag is the question. Serkia versus we just did. Serkia is playing the Renegade Moose right now. Noctrum versus Icarus. So I think we will do that. So let's get in there. Let me tell Noctrum to put a spec slot. All right. Spec slot, please. And we'll cast that game and go from there. When are we going to see the Turin Nurgle Warband? So, yeah, I'm going to be creating a new, I don't know, like part of me wants to put the tabletop battle reports on this channel and whatnot when I do get around to doing those in like January, February. But like the problem with that being is that like YouTube really doesn't, like if I'm covering like Total War, Dune, Age of Empires, eventually Stormgate, then like I feel like it won't. So I feel as if we need to make a new channel for the tabletop stuff. So that's kind of the plan right now. But the first videos I'm going to be putting up on that channel are going to be army showcases. So I'll be showing you guys all the armies that I will have. We'll doing videos on all of them and all that sort of fun stuff. So should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so we got a spec slot here. Let's see what matchup this is going to be. All right. And let's do it. Let us do it. Do it. All right, we got Bretonnia. Oh my god, is this a Bretonnian mirror match, or are they just sitting on their starting factions? Hold on. Oh my god, do we? No, okay, it's Bretonnia versus Slaanesh. That's actually pretty fun. I think they're on the wrong map, though. They're going to need to switch that one. I'm so excited for the old world. I'm so excited. I just wish my hands weren't crippled so I could just do more and paint more and hobby more and stuff. You know? Like, basically for me, when it comes to any given day, I have, like, normal hand strength for, like, 3 or 4 hours of, like, usage. So, like, I can play an RTS game at a high level for 3 to 4 hours, but after that, like, I usually have pretty bad, like, crippling pain until I sleep, and then the next day it kind of resets. It's a weird thing, but apparently it's pretty common for this condition. So, like, I have to choose. It's like, do I want a power game, you know, or do I want a hobby? You know, it sucks. But regardless, the tabletop channel, yeah, I'm looking at. Next week, I'm going to be looking at like commercial spaces in our city, like little small like office spaces that we can get pretty cheap, and hopefully setting up a tabletop studio. So yeah, it might take a little longer to get the battle reports out because you know it's the equipment and all that, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The tabletop battles are going to be they're going to be pre-recorded, so we're not probably going to live stream them. I did a lot of asked a lot of you guys in the polls, and most people seem to prefer recorded, edited battle reports. So that's going to be more the jam. Yeah, we're streaming. It's been good so far. We had our first round match. Now we got Slaanesh versus Bretonnia, which is going to be pretty epic here. And yeah, that's that. We're going to go from here and have some fun, man. And have some fun. When do we, yeah, the Nurgle Warband. Yeah, it looks really good. It's I painted most of it. I got to do, let's see, 9 more Chaos Warriors, 10 more Marauders, 1 Chaos Knight, and a Chaos Chariot. And then the Warband is basically done. And I'll probably just add in like a Giant or like a Manscore or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, the Treebeard model. Okay, let's go look at this. Somebody, yeah, the Treebeard model on Troll Trader is really funny. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. I've seen it before. Because I play the Middle-earth strategy battle game too. So I've seen most of those old Lord of the Rings models. They still sell it on GW's website, actually. Treebeard. Which one are we looking at? Okay. Yeah, so this is Treebeard's model from the Middle-earth strategy battle game, I think. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, oh my god, look at that thing, dude. I always like wonder, I'm like, what designer like looked at that and was like, yeah, that looks great. I mean, I guess the year would have been 2001. So to be fair, the technology wasn't that like far from the 90s, but yeah, here's the more modern one. I think this is a lot better. Like this looks a lot better for sure, but there's some serious haggardness going on there. Oh yeah. Seriously janky. I love it. It's hilarious. What city? Because I have a nice space you could use. Well, I live in Southern California, so you'd have to be pretty close to me, Jordan. Which I would want it to be within a 30-minute drive. So I doubt we're in the same area. Yeah. Look at the top of his head. He just wants a hug. I know. He's just trying to have some fun, man. Dude, I feel like we could just like look at these and cackle all day. When the old world comes out, yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of the Chaos Dwarves. I think that the Chaos Dwarves that were done by Forge World are really nice too. Like, but they're expensive. They were really pricey is the only thing. Like, but I thought those models were great. Like the Infernal Ironglaves and the Ironsworn and the Bull Centaurs. Like those models were awesome. Those were really good. If CA gives sleds to Katarine, do you think it'll be viable? Yeah, I think Katarine would be more viable if she got a really cost-effective sled. If they just gave her like a bear sled that had like an ice bear pulling it or something, and it had similar combat capabilities to the Kissel bear sleds, yeah, it could be good. Yeah, Jordan, shoot me a message in Discord because you're kind of close. I'm about an hour and 45. An hour and a half from Los Angeles myself, but yeah, shoot me a message in Discord and we can chat. Because what I plan on doing for the tabletop channel is like recording like once a week. So we would go into the office and just be there from like 10 a.m. till like 10 p.m. and just banging out like 2 battles basically. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, shoot me a message in Discord, Jordan. We can chat. All right, so Bretonnia is ready, and old Slaanesh is still picking. So I suspect it's going to be mostly warriors, although the Slaanesh warriors don't really have good armor piercing. I wonder how they would fare against like Bretonnian Grail Guardians and Grail Knights and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be warrior spam. This is like classic Slaanesh, which is so funny because you think it's like a fast, lightly armored faction, but it's the opposite. Slaanesh is like one of the tankiest, like most like stalwart chaos factions. Yeah. Should be good. The Chaos Dwarf Torture on the Bale Torch from Lot. Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll take a look. Thank you, Mark. All right, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's going to be Slaanesh versus Bretonnia on the Arachnarok Lair, and it is going to be a bunch of warriors with Sigvald, as well as a Slaanesh Shadowcaster, which is a really good choice. Spamming Melkoths on Grail Knights or Pit of Shading them is very cost-effective if you can nail it. So I do like that selection from the Slaanesh players. I do, Puling in chat saying I missed the OG vampire counts from Tabletop. You know what? Vampire counts probably are going to score the hardest from Age of Sigmar. So the Age of Sigmar Soulblight Gravelord models, they look really good for Warhammer Fantasy. Like the new skeletons, the new zombies, the Blood Knights look great, the Lords look really good. Like the Vampire Counts basically got an entire line rework in Age of Sigmar, which you can throw right into, you know, Warhammer Fantasy. Also, the new Ghoul models that you're getting from the Ghoul people from Age of Sigmar, I forget what they're called there, but yeah, like those would be great for Warhammer Fantasy as well. So like Vampire Count players in Fantasy and in the upcoming Old World are basically just going to be feasting like the Heathen Kings of old. They are going to be very, very happy. You know, they're going to be very, very happy. Slaanesh isn't OP anymore. No, they're good. They're consistent. So Warriors in the front is going to be Hell Scourges. These things are some of the best, probably one of the best infantry units in the entire game. They are insanely good. They have physical resist. They're immune to psychology. They also have damage reflection, charge reflection here. So embracing this unit causes additional damage when attacking charging enemies. And yeah, they're just like super solid. Poison, great leadership, very, very good. Granted, they will struggle a little bit against Foot Squires, but even still, they should win that. And they're just like raid bosses to drag down. Yeah, Flesh Eaters, that's what it is. Yeah. The Ghoul people, yeah. Cultists of Slaanesh also nice for summoning some Demonettes. Now, for the lady, it is going to be a front battle line of Men-at-Arms. In the backfield, we do have Foot Squires and some Grail Knights on the far side. Grail Knights are super cool. And if you have good micro, Grail Knights can be one of the most devastating units in the entire game. God, Bretonnia is such an epic faction, dude. Just look at these guys. Oh, that's so epic. Yes, Grail Knights is riding out. They're going to be running down all sorts of heretics, I would imagine. In the Blessed Field Trebuchet, you just want to be shooting at the Armored Troopers if you can. Now, for the Caster of Chaos, it is going to be a Melkoth's and Pit of Shades caster. So what's going to be happening is, it is just going to be Melkoth spam on top of the Grail Knights of Noctrim here, coming in from Icarus. Princes of Perfection, so the Chaos Spears are going to be on the far side. They're a good unit. You just park them on a side objective and kind of forget about them, and they're going to be pretty resilient. They'll have good capture weight, and life will be treating them well for sure. So objectives initially going to be going to Bretonnia, it looks like. Chaos playing very passively, sitting back and letting Bretonnia kind of take the initial initiative on the objectives. There are several lines of Foot Squires with the Grail Relique. It is going to be buffing their melee attack up to 31, which is very good. So they're getting +5 from the Grail Relique, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and leadership as well. So that's a nice little Death Star to have on the middle objective. Plus the Fey Enchantress herself can turn infantry fights like super hard. She has a kind of a mid-tier Mortis engine. It's not as like, it's not great, but 8 to 16 is respectable. The Skaven one is the worst. The one that the Warlock engineers have, I think it's like 5 to 12 or something like that, maybe even less. But yeah, we'll see. So Princes of Perfection on the side objective. Battle Pilgrims will actually defeat them as well. Battle Pilgrims will be able to defeat the Princes of Perfection. Trebuchet's firing downtown, and big blunder with the Grail Knights. What's going on here? He throws the Grail Knights into the meat grinder, and they end up battling elite Demon Cavalry, the Eternal Entourage here. Still trading pretty well considering the circumstances, but this Grail Knight unit is for sure going to be dying. They're surrounded by Hell Scourges and also by the Eternal Entourage here. But truly a testament to how resilient the Grail Knights are. The fact that they're fighting a brutal 2v1 and they still manage to do some really good damage, that's incredibly good. But I don't know what the Bretonnian player was thinking here. This is a pretty massive blunder. That's a huge, huge expensive unit, but at the very least, they do kind of drag down this demonic cavalry unit. That's going to be very, very tough to come back from. Because Bretonnia is a faction that definitely requires good micro, but can be very, very good if you have said micro. So Fey Enchantress is going to be helping to Mortis engine down these troopers, and we are going to be seeing the Princes of Perfection getting butchered here pretty hard by the Battle Pilgrims in tandem with the Fey Enchantress. But yeah, that is a very bad start for Bretonnia. Granted, the value is kind of close. You can see it's not that big of a discrepancy, but yeah, that still is really, really bad. They're certainly paying the troll toll. So foot squires have engaged in the front. Foot squires moving through the ranks of the peasants and getting their big, great weapons into the Hellscourge boys. Hellscourges will still win, probably, but it's going to be relatively cost-effective. And now more fights going down here as the foot squires sally forth from the second ranks and start to actually do some good work against the foot squires, or excuse me, the Chaos Warriors. A lot of it being the fact that the foot squires do have support of men-at-arms as well. But that's going to be a really good pit of shades right there from our Chaos player. Maybe a little bit too deep set. I don't know if it's going to be quite hitting the foot squires to the extent that he wants, but it looks pretty good. It actually does hit the foot squires there, so that was a nice cast. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Fey Enchantress and company holding Battle Pilgrims under attack by these Chaos Warriors, but it looks like another Grail Knight was called in here. So this Grail Knight unit probably called out of the deep spawn back here. It did come in, it did do a little bit of work, and I would imagine is going to be looking for some better fights. As the Chalice of Potions might go down here, and the Chaos Army not moving too hot. Boom! Big Chalice of Potions, and those Chaos Warriors going to be flying into the camera. Now the Bretonnian force is going to come back in and polish them off, and the side objective will for sure go to the Lady. On the far side, the Lady also holding down objective number 1. So here we see Battle Pilgrims duking it out with Devoted Marauders. Battle Pilgrims will probably barely edge that fight out, although a little bit hard to say. 120 models against 120, pretty similar stat line. Battle Pilgrims are a little bit more expensive, and it looks like Slaanesh is going to be calling in some Seekers to try and help out. So Seekers do hit very, very hard. They're going to be able to creep around the back and get a rear charge, and if Bretonnia can't reinforce with some cavalry or some, light support, then yeah, this is going to be an objective going to Slaanesh. Now, as far as the middle point goes, we do see the Chaos Warriors with Hellscourges and Mirror Guard moving up. Demonettes as well. Bretonnia looking a little bit beat up on the middle point. I'm not seeing too much left. I think their Grail Leak is still fighting, and that's kind of it. Side point, objective 3 does go to Bretonnia. That was won by the Fey Enchantress and company, and these Grail Knights going to be getting an Earthblood while also being hit by Melkos. And they got their Lances couched for the Lady, going to be charging into these Foul Heretics and doing some big armor-piercing damage. So they continue to penetrate through, but the demons do countercharge, so the Eternal Entourage going to be popping on them. And we'll see how well the Grail Knights hold here. Probably not too hot, although they do have the Blessings of the Lady. So the fact that the Fey Enchantress is here is a huge one. She is going to be Mortis Engineering down this entire blob, also providing a little bit of healing. And it does... Earthquake here? Jeez. Looks like there's going to be a Pit of Shades or some sort of witchcraft going down. Oh, it's actually going to be a Dweller's Blow. Interesting. So using a Dweller's on the Chaos blob does a little bit of damage against these Chaos Warriors. And unfortunately, the Grail Knights also eat the brunt of that and are going to be forced back. So... very, very close fight in terms of value. Over on the side, another Bretonnian Cav unit coming in. It's going to be Knights of the Realm versus Seekers. Seekers will for sure win this, considering that they are supported by Troopers. So we have Chaos Warriors on the ground and another unit of Chaos Warriors here. So probably we are going to be seeing the Bretonnian Knights on this side getting foiled by the forces of the Dark Gods. And yes, they are going to be retreating here. Now back in the middle, can the Fey Enchantress pull this one back? The banners that these players used are... definitely a little bit too similar for my liking. It's a little bit tricky to tell them apart, but you know what? We're trying our best. The Holy Wardens have arrived. So Holy Wardens are a cool unit. 85 melee attack with the Blessing of the Lady. But the problem with the Holy Wardens is they have terrible armor-piercing values, being a Battle Pilgrim unit. So they're actually not going to do very much damage against these Chaos Warriors. They might be able to do a little something, and they will hold for a long time, but overall, that is going to be a hard one. So the middle flipping back to Bretonnia. The low ground objective currently in control of the Lady, but not for long. Chaos Warriors have arrived. Battle Pilgrims going to be sandwiched, and now we got some big, thick Chaos Knights coming in on the side point, and these Chaos Knights should be able to just get a rear charge on them, and that is going to be the end of these Pilgrims. Chaos Knights basically hard counter like those type of troops, and here comes the rear charge. Battle Pilgrims going to get wrecked pretty badly, and you know Slaanesh likes to get in there from behind, and they certainly do with that rear charge, and you literally just see the Battle Pilgrims getting their source code deleted from the game. So now Slaanesh going to be rolling objective 3 here, pulling in some Devoted Marauders to secure that. Bretonnia managing to hold on to the middle. Value trading is pretty damn close. Icarus is up by a little bit. Some of the demons do overextend here and get taken down by the Knights of the Lionhearted, which are a great unit here, by the way. Knights of the Lionhearted do magic damage. So against any of the demonic cavalry units, they're like an auto take. Now, this is a mistake, in my opinion, trying to play this side. I think, like, Bretonnia maybe... Oh, I guess there are Chaos Knights over there, so that's probably not great either. Yeah, a little bit hard to say. So here comes the Chaos Knights, and they're going to be really good here. Pretty much the entire Bretonnian army in the middle is just like really, really squishy. Oh my god! Devastating charge. Chaos Knights are definitely one of the coolest units in the game, so yeah, they just obliterate that Bretonnian force right there. You can see the Bretonnians holding like a piece of paper. The Holy Warden's holding, but really, it's just completely gone there. What is still on the objective? I guess a couple units of Battle Pilgrims are routing off and running. We do have some Men-at-Arms and Foot Squires here. Definitely need some like hard-hitting cavalry in the middle to help deal with that. But the Fey Enchantress has maneuvered down to objective 1, down to the low ground with her remnants of her Grail Knights and Foot Squires, and is trying to win this fight with her Mortis Engine. Seekers of Slaanesh trading pretty well into the overextending Knights of the Lionhearted, who once again dove a little bit too greedily and too deeply. So a fair amount of misplays from the Bretonnian cavalry, I think, is starting to add up. We're seeing 8.2 against 7. A lot of the Bretonnian cav units have been thrown into very, very dire situations. So I think that is probably going to be the game for Slaanesh. We see Slaanesh take over the middle objective pretty decisively. These Chaos Knights have been an excellent sweeper too, and that is going to be GG, well played. The forces of the Dark Gods cackle this day. The Bretonnians sent back to their vineyards and their lovely countryside. All right, GG, well played. So Sigvald, great as always. I like the caster choice. Warriors, absolute raid bosses. And yeah, the Seekers can do well. Like, Bretonnian Knights typically trade good into them, but it seems like a lot of the Bretonnian cavalry would charge infantry, and then they would get countercharged. So that was really the tail of the tape. And like, losing a Grail Knight for nothing in the beginning was just so brutal. I mean, he got like half health off a cav unit, but that cav unit still was able to be impactful, whereas the Grail Knights were pretty much source code deleted from the game. So that is very unfortunate for them. All right, so let us take a look here and see how we're looking on the old tournament website. Yes, yes. Let's fire it up. Here we go. Okay, just one game finished. Wow, it's weird. The games we've been casting today have been, so far, they've been some of the faster games. Did Charamis get his points? I believe he lost the first game. Let me check. I just got to make sure all the players got their points here. Okay, where are we at? Where is he? Was he in the first round? He must have been. Yeah, he is. And then there's Charamis here. Okay, so he did get his point for the round. Good. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. It's probably going to be another like 10, 15 minutes or so. We finished that one pretty quickly within 15 minutes of our other round ending. So now we're just going to hang tight, and we can continue looking at minis. Hey, it's Professor Pone. The Dark Lord is here. Yes, dude. Where are my Chowie or High Elves? Dude, where were you is the question. Where were you? You abandoned your people. You needed to represent your Chowie, who apparently are doing pretty good these days. So we have our stats from this season so far. Let's take a look. We haven't had a ton of games played since like the new 4.1, but Kislev apparently still very dominant with a 72% win rate. But again, that will even out as more people play them. And yeah, you could see win rate's still in flux right now. Yeah, Khorne currently sitting at, oh my god, look at the Khorne win rate. I mean, I know like there's not a lot of games played, but Jesus. Khorne currently sitting at 3 wins and 17 losses. God damn. I mean, like 6 and 12 isn't bad. 8 and 14, there's very little data. You know, like none of this really is like terribly significant yet, but 3 and 17 is pretty brutal for sure. That is definitely not a fun feeling. So, so yeah. All right, all right. You know, I was at work. Pone, your job is to take out the old world with the fires of industry, with the Chaos Dwarves. You know, that's right. See, Puling knows. Pone needs to quit his job, move to California, and we can do the Tabletop channel together full time. That's the power fantasy right there. Clearly, you must champion Khorne. Oh, Khorne's so brutal.
Live in your office, though.
Yeah, he would live in here. I heard some. What was that big thumping sound? Probably something outside. I don't know if it was like an earthquake or something. Yeah, probably our neighbor up to no good. Yeah, so pretty close to where I live, there is, I believe, SpaceX launches their satellites from like this airfield, like that's like pretty close to us. So ever since, and they just started doing that recently, and you can like feel the tremors when they do it. So like it kind of feels like a mini earthquake randomly. And it's a little bit scary because where I live is like a huge earthquake risk area already. So yeah, we've had like several earthquakes this year. I think like 4 or 5 in 2023. We've had a fair amount. Yeah, we've had a fair amount. Leave California, go to Pone. You know, California does have its problems for sure. Like if we're talking about, you know, like some of the major cities, like there's definitely a lot of really rough stuff in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And, you know, I've lived in both of those regions, the Bay Area and Los Angeles. But like California is, yeah, it's the cost of living, and like the major cities certainly have their problems, but it's still a pretty amazing state. Like the weather is amazing. We have like, people are generally very friendly out here. Yeah, like I really like California. I really love California. Yeah, it's got its issues for sure. I would consider living in a different state too. But the big thing for like moving to a different state would be to save money, because it's just like, even if you're doing good here in California financially, like let's say you have a job that pays well, like dude, the rents and just so many little like things that like add up, all these like, yeah, just like the cost of living in California is rough, dude. It's really, really rough. So sometimes, you know, we've talked about like wanting to move to other states. I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I grew up here, and I grew up in a small village. It's like, no, I don't know, a small city. Like the city I grew up in, growing up, had a population of 4,000 people. I think 4,000 in the main region. Yeah, so it's pretty damn small. Yeah, the cost is rough. The Bay Area is really bad. Like the cost of living. I liked living in San Jose. It was really fun. Like San Jose had a great nerd culture. Like I used to go play tabletop. I used to go play Magic at these like cool card stores. It was really fun. Unfortunately, I wouldn't move to Texas because Texas is like one of the worst states for allergy sufferers. So people who have allergies just like are going to be like Palpatine dying on the floor in Texas, I've heard. So Colorado is a place I had thought about. Washington State was something. My wife loves like forests and trees, so that could be fun. Although that would probably be pretty bad for allergies too. Yeah, we've looked at different places. Yeah. All right, let's go back and laugh at some minis, shall we? All right. So here we are. Rent is pretty jacked everywhere now. I know it is. It really is. Yeah. Okay, so let's go here and keep looking at some old Warhammer minis. So what do we want to look at now? Orcs and Goblins have some really haggard ones, like really haggard. Oh god. These are the old Black Orcs, by the way. These guys, which aren't bad, honestly. But like, what's cool is you could just, if you wanted to, you could just use the Games Workshop models for the new orcs and just call them Black Orcs because they basically like look like they are. But these are nice. Like what you could do is you could, if you wanted to be really flashy, is you could kit bash these guys. You could take the helmets from these models and put them on the other orcs from Age of Sigmar, and it would look like legit like the Total War Black Orcs. Like they're not bad at all. I love the Night Goblins. Like old school Night Goblins, I think are one of the most iconic things. Like look at these little gremlins. You could easily paint like so many of those. And plus, Night Goblins have a ton of great models from Age of Sigmar that you could use, and you would be totally fine. Yeah, you got the giants. That's pretty cheap, only 30 bucks. Usually big models like this are pretty expensive, but yeah, they're trying their best. They are trying their best. Oh my god, look at that troll. So this guy's got like a dwarven statue he's holding in his head and he's throwing. That's actually a really nice paint job. Looks like that was like before the time of washes and everything. Washes being really popular. That's nice. Yeah, but we've talked about living in Poland for a while. I think it'd be fun. That would be fun. Danny says, don't worry, Turin, the goats will accept you anytime you want to hide in Wyoming. Yeah, I'd love to visit all those areas for sure. Alaska. Yeah, Alaska might be a little bit too cold. I don't know. Might be a little bit too nippy. You know, I grew up and I get cold so easy. I'm like a chihuahua. I'm just like trembling as soon as it gets cold. Even though I'm not like skinny by any means. a bit of a chungus these days. Yeah, these guys are awesome. So this is the Black Orc Blood Bowl team. Like you could totally get, if you could get your hands on these models from the Blood Bowl and you just like equip them with like an axe in their hands, these could be your Black Orcs for Warhammer the Old World. Like they're about the same base like size as the other ones we looked at, and those look really good. Turn with the Polish accent. I don't think my accent would change. I don't think it would change. Oh, whoa. This is not a Games Workshop model, is it? What is that thing? Giant swamp monster. It's listed under the greenskins on this website, but I don't think that is a Games Workshop model. That looks like it's another company. All right. You guys talking about spam in chat? I don't think I've ever had spam before. I know it's very popular in Hawaii and stuff. Like there was actually, I may have had it. Okay, one game to finish. If we take a look, you can see, guys, we got one match wrapping up here. Charix versus Bear. So those two are going to be duking it out, and we'll be starting as soon as they finish. All right, all right. I'm moving from Cali to Oregon in 2 weeks. Pretty excited. I can actually afford a house. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's like awful to buy homes in California. And I mean, everywhere in the country it sucks now, but especially California. It's like the interest rates, I think they just got lowered for buying homes, but I think they were close to like 7 or 8%. Like, which is just obscene. like in where I live, the cheapest house you're gonna find is like gonna be like $800,000, and that's like, you know, like a starter home. You have to make so much to afford that in this, like, you have to make some, like, we can't even like come close to affording that ever, you know. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's Pone says spam is shitty gross ham. That's funny, dude. Hey, Leech Lord, how you doing? Was thinking about joining tonight. Yeah, greenskins are fun, man. They're really fun. I've been playing them a little bit, actually. Now that Wurzag is nerfed, I enjoy playing them. I hated how they were being played before. It was so awful. 10% interest in Poland to get a loan on a home. Yeah, but it's probably like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you're looking at it through the spectrum of a Polish salary, it could be really brutal. Yeah. Could be rough. Could be rough indeed. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We could just like rent till the day that we die, you know. It could just be one of those situations. It's just, you know, who knows. Okay, did they finish their last one? Hopefully he didn't crash. If you're willing to move to Italy in a small town, they will pay you money to give you a house. They would have to, they would also have to have really good internet though for what I do, because my livelihood depends on my internet speed. So I can't move anywhere like super rural, or else I'm not going to be able to work, you know. And then yeah, that would be bleak. That would be bleak for sure. Yeah, Southern Canada, the prices are, yeah, Canada is brutal too, I've heard, the pricing. The problems with the interest rates in California is the housing prices have gone sky high for a decade of low interest, so now the prices are high and the interest is high. Exactly, yeah. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. Yeah, I mean, God, you have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars to even like be able to look at a home in California. And even still, like, you can there was a time when like we were thinking about it. We were like looking at houses, and we were going with our my cousin who's a real estate agent. We were like looking at homes, but what ended up happening likely with a lot of these homes is people just, these, I don't know if it's companies or just really wealthy people come in, and even if you have like enough to put down a down payment, let's say like 20 to 50%, right? Like someone's just going to come in with 100% cash, whether it be a corporation or just someone who's very wealthy and wants to be a landlord, and they're just going to buy it, and you have no chance, because the sellers will always go with cash offers, right? So you just get dicked so hard. That's something else I've noticed a lot. All right, so last game, checking in. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so the round is finished. We're going to be advancing it. I'll be dropping for the next round. Let me drop. Okay. Renegade Moose. Got it. I am going to drop the Moose right now. So let me do this. And drop you. Okay. Then I need to fix Sergio's score. Did that work? Yes, it did. And fix that. And then we can advance to the next round. Okay. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. Starlink. Yes, I don't know if Starlink would be fast enough. It's something I looked into before, but I don't think it'd be quick enough. Yeah. Come to Washington, Lady Turn can visit the fjords without having to go to Poland. Yeah. We love going to Poland though. We always have a blast. It's really fun. Okay guys, just a little bit of admin work, and then we'll be firing off the next round here in just a minute. And there we are. All right. Hey, mister, thank you for the 20. Love seeing you back in Warhammer. Yeah, we'll always come back to it. Like, so you guys don't need to worry. Like, even if I'm not covering it as much, like, I will come back to it. I mean, there will, of course, be a time when we don't cover Warhammer 3 anymore, way down the road, when the game is, like, kind of, you know, unsupported and, you know, people stop playing it. But, you know, like, while there's still new stuff coming, we will be looking at it and you know, playing and everything. So, yeah. We should play StarCraft. Oh, man, that's the forbidden fruit, dude. Yeah, I haven't played StarCraft in ages. Okay, so let's advance the Swiss. Let's do it. Do it. And there we are. Okay. And cool. So we got our matches. Good luck. Have fun. Next round has started. And let's find a game to cast. Next round is started. Next round is started. All right. So here we are. And let's cast one of our sweaty matches here. Didn't those guys just play? No, that was somebody else. Okay. So that game might lag, considering the players are from Poland, China, and in the Western territories here. We could do Outer Region versus Serkia, Icarus versus Charix. We could do Alls. So let's do Alls game. That'll be fun. So let me message him, and we'll get into his lobby here. So finding him. I think he has 3 L's in his name. There he is. Hey, lobby code, please, spec slot. All right, so we got a match to cast. Thank you guys for your patience. Try Stormgate when yeah, Stormgate is definitely something I'm going to be playing. But it depends. If you guys enjoy Stormgate and it does very well here, and a lot of people enjoy it, then I will do it hardcore. Because I love traditional RTS. But I love Age of Empires. I love Age of Empires 4. Like, the fact that we have dedicated servers is such a boon. It's such a boon. Okay. Okay, so the password is pretty simple here. Join with the code. Looks good. Oh, he's playing Norska. Sounds good. Oh, Demons of Chaos versus Bretonnia. All right, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. Don't get to see Demons of Chaos too often. James, thank you for the 20. Hey, Turin, happy holidays to you and your family, and thanks for all the great content. Thank you, man. Thank you. I always find that, like, Total War streams, this is kind of an interesting thing, but, like, the Total War Warhammer streams, when tournaments, as it pertains, okay, Demons of Chaos versus Dark Elves, actually, they kind of are like podcasts in a way, because there's so much downtime in between games that it kind of just becomes more of a hangout. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Hey, James, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's very generous of you, bud, and hope the holidays are treating you well also. All right. That's the only thing I didn't like that much about Stormgate was the art style. Like, I mean, sure, the art style isn't, like, super important. Like, Age of Empires obviously doesn't have, like, the most aesthetic looking, you know, art and whatnot. But, I don't know, there's something about, like, it is very cartoony. But so is Warcraft 3 in some ways. But I don't know, there's something about it. There's something about it. Oh, Washington is definitely a place that, you know, we would consider living in for sure. So it has cool year-round weather, but I bet you allergies would be rough up there would be my only concern. I hear you, Satu. I hear you. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. All right, so Alls on Demons of Chaos. Buy the dip on the Dark Elves. And I suspect we're going to be seeing some weird shenanigans. Demons of Chaos, you can never really guess what they're going to do. It's always very weird. They always have these weird cheesy builds. They're definitely a cheese faction, but it's fun. I love playing Demons of Chaos. At least there's no downtime commercials. Yeah, I don't know if it's just, I've been watching Twitch. Some Twitch streams lately of Age of Empires, just watching some top level players, and God, dude, the Twitch ads, they just come in like with the steel chair every single time. Like when there's about to be a big fight or some action, it's just like you get interrupted with like 3 minutes. I don't know if YouTube does that to you guys. I don't have control over all that, but I think there's some that, like, I guess I could completely turn it off. Maybe I'll have to look at the settings, but yeah, you get blasted on that with Twitch as well. What about recording the tournaments offline then narrate them live? Which tournaments? Yeah, let me know. Red Olgor? No way. Is it really good to be Red Olgor? Dark Elves have so many good ways to kill him, though. Like repeater crossbow, shades, all those different things, man. I can't see Red Olgor. I feel like it would be the Nurgle Demon Prince, if anybody, getting the healing, and, you know, YouTube just needs the full screen of the chats, and then I'm done. Yeah. YouTube, if YouTube would get its stuff together and really invest a little bit in its streaming platform, they could definitely crush Twitch, I think, but there's still a lot of like haggard elements about streaming on YouTube. I just like the community here more, so that's why we do it. But yeah, Twitch has a lot of like more advanced streaming tools that are quite nice. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dimitri. Thank you, man. Twitch ads have gone to another level. Twitch always does that as soon as the streamer starts responding to your question. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Demons of Chaos are about ready. So this is the third round of our tournament today. In total, we're going to have 6 rounds. So this is round number 3. And then we have 4, which is going to be the final round of regulation, followed by the semis and then the grand finals. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. Have you gone to the... No, I haven't gone to the art section of Twitch. I bet Professor Pone spends a lot of time there. Yeah, I mean, Twitch, you go into the front page. When you load into the front page of Twitch, sometimes you have to do a double take. You're like, is this a gaming website? Yeah, it's wild. It is wild indeed. I hate that you need a dozen Twitch memberships to watch AoE 4 live without... Oh, are you saying on Twitch? I haven't heard of that. So I have allergies and I'm in Washington. The only real issue is when the Scotch bloom is flying for a couple weeks out of the year. Oh, those are like the little, like, the cotton. They look like little balls of cotton, right? Yeah. Most Total War fans are between 25 and older. Yeah, it's pretty much the same with age. Like, Age of Empires and Total War kind of have the same, like, age demographic. Yeah, today's all best of ones. It's just supposed to be a fast tournament. Nothing, like, terribly, you know, long and miserable. But, yeah, I would say the most, like... I have analytics on like, the different, like... Oh, Medusas. Yeah, Medusas they had a weird buff to their, like, line of sight. Apparently they shoot better now, so I'm excited to see this, but... Yeah, definitely 25 to 40 is like the most common demographic for both Total War and Age of Empires. Like if you look at like a lot of RTS games and pro gaming, whether it be like shooters, MOBAs, whatever, like most of the gamers who are pro are like in their late teens, like early 20s. But in RTS gaming, you still see pros, like not in StarCraft, in Brood War. Like you can't, it's really hard to compete, I think, in those as you get older because of the APM requirements. But like a lot of Age of Empires pros are like elder millennials. They're like in their mid 30s, like 34, 35, 36. Pretty sure Viper is like 32. Like a lot of them are older. And same in Total War. Like if you look at the top players on the leaderboard, the majority of them are probably mid 30s. You know, because Total War is a game that what's cool is for us crusty millennials is that it doesn't require like insane APM to be really good at it. It's more about decision making, army. I mean, obviously it does matter and does help to have good APM. It's an advantage, but you can still compete at a very high level in this game, not having the best APM and just making good decisions with your units and also having good army selection. I don't think I'm going to play Rogue Trader now. No. Yeah. You just call me an elder. Well, elder millennials would be like the individuals born, like I would say between like 83 and like 89. Those are like the 80s millennials. That's where I come from, you know. Old pros in our wrist braces, yeah. Puns are like, that's right, you old fucks. Crusty millennials, the truth. Dude, it does. I'm getting gray hairs now, dude. I'm like, god damn. Where'd that come from? Not that I mind. I'll be a silver fox or whatever they call it. Yeah. We're getting crusty, guys. We're getting a little bit crusty. Gen X here. Hell yeah. Chris knows how to live. That's what's up. All right. Gen X, that's the generation that produced the great Limp Bizkit. Fred Durst. I'll take it. I'll take it all day, every day. Now turn Flash, the greatest gamer of all time, is 31 and beyond the reach of any young ones. Yeah, but he probably didn't develop wrist problems or carpal tunnel or tendonitis or anything like that. Like a lot of like people like him who play that long develop those problems and have to stop or they lose their edge. So I think he's a bit of an anomaly for sure. There are a handful of people like that, but most like StarCraft pro gamers who are like practicing nonstop will develop some sort of RSI, which really, you know, causes problems. All right, guys, take a look here at the forces of Buy the Dip. He's going to be on the Druki. We have the Bloodrack Medusa. So this thing packs some punch. I'm going to be following its career with great interest. The rest of the army is going to be Blackheart Corsairs, backed up by Malice Memeblade, as well as a Sorceress of Fire with Burning Head. Now, Blue Fire is a really good spell. Probably going to wreck this Medusa pretty bad. She tries to juke it, but just eats it like a champ. But overall, we'll be able to survive for a moment. So Malice is going to be running up, and Corsair Infantry are very good. Their high armor makes them durable against a lot of demons. Except Bloodletters and Toads, of course, but against like Plague Bearers and Blues and things like that, they'll be very good. And Corsair Handbows are awesome because they're mobile, and they give you an answer against the big chickens up in the sky. So we'll see how this goes. Hell yeah, Total War, slideshow micro, baby, let's go. Looking at the Demon Army, it's going to be Plague Bearer focused. Plague Bearers are really good. They're one of the best Demon Infantry, in my opinion. 12,000 HP almost, good combat stats, 50 weapon strength. Yeah, they might not be the best against armor, but their staying power is pretty amazing for sure. And Malice is trying to fight the chicken. It's a little bit hard to tell what's going on here. He's moving in. He's chasing that chicken. And he does pop all of his activated abilities, which is a little bit dicey. Overall, maybe he'll make contact. We'll have to see. The chicken has been trying to juke him, but Malice is also following him very, very closely. And does actually get through his shield. Wow, all right. So pink fire going down. Beautiful pink fire there by the Goose. And the Exalted Lord of Change actually taking down like half their HP. But Malice does get a little bit of HP damage on the big chicken. Yeah, that's cost effective, and he can always go into his demon form if he needs to. Now, toads are being called in, plague bears as well. The Exalted Lord of Change. Definitely, if the Dark Elf player had been in position with some Corsair handbows, he could have done a lot more damage to that chicken right there. But we'll have to see how that goes. So up in the front, Bretonnia. They've engaged in the front line. Corsair handbows in the secondary. Side objective going to be going freely to what appears to be the Druki. So we do see some Dread Spears hanging out on that point. And over on objective 1, that is going to be going to the demons with the plague bear holding it, while the middle is going to be the heavily contested objective. Now, check out the Medusa. It's been shooting at those plague bears up on the hill, and it's actually been doing some good damage. Come on, don't disappoint us, Medusa. We look at you for a second. We want to see it. Okay, here she goes. Boom. And another shot, and I don't know if she shot at there, but maybe it was some of the toads. So far, she's done some okay damage, getting up to about 500 value so far. Yeah, so she's been melting these plague bears here, which is very nice. A little bit of Bronzodia right here. They definitely need to split up. Being bunched up like that against Tzeentch is very, very dangerous, but now they have moved. Here we have Malice Beamblade. He's just battling it out with the Plague Toads of Nurgle. Seems to be doing okay. Medusa overextends a little bit too deeply, but still will be able to get some nice shots into the pinks perhaps. But yeah, if the pinks and the other demons started shooting at the Medusa, she would be dead in a matter of seconds. But it seems as if they're shooting at the Corsairs here, missing the Medusa for now. The middle objective is owned by the forces of the Dark Elves. In the backfield, Chaos Furies landing on the Blackheart Corsairs. But Corsairs should just turn and fight. Corsairs will crush them in combat. They have good stats and high armor, so the Furies won't do a whole lot against them. Now, up in the high ground, did we see any play? We do see some Slaanesh's Harvesters coming around the back. The Doomfire Warlocks, often considered to be a bit of a meme unit, but in theory, they should be really good against the demon units, right? The fact that they do magic damage is going to be helpful, but they themselves also rely on high physical resist, so demons will wreck them in turn. So they do get on top of the pinks here. Pinks are, you know, not the squishiest range unit in the world, and the Harvesters probably going to be having a pretty bad time. They will be dropping their Bound Soul Stealer right here, so you can see that does go down. It's going to be hitting all these units here, and Word of Pain as well. And hey, they almost get a pink down and are doing okay damage against the Hounds also. Another beautiful pink fire coming in from Alls. Very, very nasty. Hits that entire position. The Bretonnia as well. Some of the cavalry do get tagged. Malice Darkblade just kind of stuck in combat battling toads, which is definitely not fun for him. Nurgle units are very tanky and have high HP pools, so having him being trapped in a toad unit, not being able to make a big impact on the battlefield is tough. I think maybe Foot Malice might be a little bit better, like less susceptible to being sniped, and also, you know, I don't know. Seems like it could be a little bit more effective here for sure. So middle objective owned by the Druki, side objective owned by the Druki as well. Cold One Knight sitting on the wing, Battle Toads are moving up, but the Shrieking Skyrays get caught in a bunch of spears, which is certainly not great for them. And the Slaanesh's Harvesters in the backfield, they actually did really good. They managed to completely kill a pink unit, and now if they can stand and fight and actually get some DPS into these Fleshhounds of Khorne, that would be pretty imposing for them. Granted, the Fleshhounds should trade well into them, we'll have to see. Up in the high ground, the Dark Elf Caster moving in and battling Plague Bears and getting a burning head on them, which does some okay damage, but this is not a good fight for the Sorceress. Plague Bears do have almost 50 weapon strength, and the Sorceress only has 40 armor, right? So she's going to have a really, really bad time here as the big stinkies continue their cleaving attacks. So there they go. Looking around here, Objective 2 owned by the Druki. Objective 3 going to be owned by the Druki as well. And it seems like the Dark Elves are holding the objectives well. However, Alls does seem to be up-trading a little bit, but we have to remember both sides have access to a little bit of weird healing. Tzeentch shields, as well as Malice, does have healing. And the Medusa in the back has been shooting the entire time. Shooting laser beams. Yeah, look at that. Another shot right into the Plague Bears of Nurgle. Currently probably around 800 value, about 600. So that's not bad at all. So, close fight so far. 6,300 value for Alls, 4.6 for the Dark Elves. Dark Elves are managing to hold the objectives, but the Demons of Chaos, they're grinding and they're making progress. Those Slaanesh's Harvesters, man, I shouldn't have made fun of them so soon. They managed to get about 700 value despite a 2v1 fight, and they did get these Fleshhounds down quite low. On top of that, they did also kill the pink unit. Much of the damage done was disintegration, which wasn't reflected, but their value probably was about 1,000 right there, if you take into account the disintegration and things like that. So, Malice is a menace indeed. He is. So Malice keeps fighting here in the front, and you know, eventually he's going to defeat this Plague Toad unit. It might take 10 years, but he will get there. Middle objective starting to flip to the demons as the Plague Bears and Nurglings now move up onto the point. The Dark Elves are looking a little bit more scarce up on the objective here. We do have a couple Dread Spears, which will be very good against the Toads if they can get into combat. Furies chasing down what appears to be Corsair Handbows, because I guess they maybe didn't turn and fight, who knows. Cold Knights being called out. Cold Knights will be good against Toads and Fleshhounds, but will not be so good against Plague Bears. That's for sure. And the Demons do have their Screamers nearby, so in the back we do see the Screamers of Tzeentch hanging around with the big chicken. And the Screamers of Tzeentch will be an incredibly good counter against the Cold Knights. Cold Knights can also trade into them, but typically if the chicken is there, with some Furies, it's going to be a bad fight for the Golden Knights. They're going to get wrecked. So Corsairs moving for the high ground point. Will they beat a Plague Bearer unit at about half health, or 60%? It's a bit of a close one, actually. The Plague Bearers might find a way to edge this fight out. They're really, really meaty units. Very tough to bring down. I mean, the Corsairs do have a lot of tools that counter them in theory, but yeah, I'm telling you, don't underestimate Plague Bearers. Unless there's a Burning Head on the line, then maybe you can. All right, so huge Burning Head coming in from the Dark Elf Sorceress. That's going to be enough to probably give the Corsairs that fight quite easily, as it might lead them to disintegrating. You can see huge HP damage. So you get 7 leadership right here. And also Dark Rider's going to be chasing down Fleshhound. Side objective owned by the Dark Elves. Middle objective has been taken by the Demons. And it doesn't look like the Dark Elves have too many tools left here on the middle of the map. We do, of course, have the Dread Spears duking it out with Plague Bearers, Nurglings, and Pinks nearby as well. Malice he has his mortal enemy. I feel like you could write an entire book on this Duel of Fates back here. He will eventually destroy these toads. And from there, I think Malice is probably going to be best served to maybe go after like blues or pinks. Not blues, but pinks would probably be his best target. And yeah, the toads are getting close to breaking. He uses the Demon's Curse, which is making their leadership very, very low. It's a nice debuff. Very underrated. -10 leadership is a hell of a lot. And they're sitting at 7 right now. A couple more attacks, and they might be crumbling down. We will have to see. So Corsairs do manage to win their fight up on the high ground against the Plague Bearers. You can see how resilient the Plague Bearers are, though. Even with burning heads and being at like 60% at the start of the fight, they still brought these Corsairs down to like 60%, which is super, super good. A couple Screamers moving in, but the Screamers will not be able to do much against infantry units. Their stats are pretty bad against non-large units, and it looks like the Dark Elves are going to be able to flip that high ground objective in this very, very back-and-forth fight. Granted, the value lead does favor the Demons quite a bit, so there could come a point when the Demons are able to just kind of steamroll on the battlefield. We see Nurglings moving up, so 1 Nurgling parked here, a 2nd Nurgling going to be arriving soon, and even though Nurglings aren't great at fighting, they're annoying to remove. For how cheap they are pretty tanky. And there are going to be 2 of them, which is going to be 10 capture weight against 5 capture weight here. So that could be a potential triple cap situation. Corsairs being swarmed up on the high ground as well by the Fleshhounds as well as the Screamers. So yeah, looks like this could just be the end of the Dark Elves. Looks like they're falling apart across the battlefield. And really, really cool to see some high-level Demons of Chaos play. Demons of Chaos are weird. They've been very, like... They're kind of like I don't know if I would say like a hipster faction, but they've had moments in the sun where the people they win tournaments just out of the blue. Like their win rate will be like 30%, 40%, and then suddenly for like 2 or 3 tournaments in a row, you see someone like Tim the Wilder or these other guys in RTK come in and just like come in and absolutely karate chop people. So yeah, it's something, man. It's something. So objective 3 is going to the Demons. 2 to the Demons, 1 of the Demons. That's probably game over. It's a 10,000 to 7.6 game. And the Dark Elves do have a little bit of mobility left. My favorite element of this game was seeing the Medusa. This thing is so freaking cool. And ever since CA did buff it, so it's probably a little bit better now. But that blue fire is probably going to come close to finishing it off. Oh, Medusa gets the steel chair of Tzeentch. Is she going to turn to stone? What's going to happen here? No, she's just going to writhe around, and yeah, she's not having the best time. Certainly not great. She tried her best, though. She had a good run. She had a really good run. So that's probably GG. A couple of repeater crossbows. If the Dark Elves fight tooth and nail, they might be able to take 1 objective back, maybe. Malice is still obviously on the table, but Malice has been in Mortal Kombat with a Plague Toad unit the entire game. Like, the entire game, Malice has been battling this 1 unit, so certainly hasn't been terribly impactful, you know, if you know what I'm saying. Golden Knights coming in, gonna get these Fleshhounds, but yeah, this triple cap's gonna be tough, man. Well, the Dark Elves still have a little bit of a weirdness going on the sides. Maybe. We'll obviously keep watching and see how this goes. Corsair units with the Fire Sorcerers maybe going to be able to take down the Nurglings, sitting at 8 leadership, and Corsairs only 1,000 HP, but they are, of course, fighting a decent fight versus a unit they should have every advantage against. Repeater crossbows sitting back, shooting into the turd burglars on the objective, and here we do have the Dread Spears. Are they going to be moving up? Yeah, Corsairs and Dread Spears might be able to take the side objectives. The Demon Army is not quite as dynamic in terms of its mobility. I guess they do have Screamers and Fleshhounds, so they can do a little bit of work, but yeah, the core units like the Plague Bearers and the Demon Infantry are a little bit slower, so... Yeah, Plague Bearers are not very quick. They do have 27 speed. I believe when the game came out, or when Warhammer 3 came out during the Dark Ages, the Plague Bearers, I think, only had 23 speed back then. It was pretty nuts. Nurgle was so haggard back then. It was so haggard. Nice firepower coming in from the Pinks. Definitely got to move these by the dip. A little bit of lapse in micro. He could move these guys around here and then just get like free shots on these Nurglings and would have a very comfortable time. There's no reason to let like a 1 HP unit, you know, take down a full health unit of Dark Rider Repeater crossbows. So that's pretty unfortunate. And does Malice finally... Those can't be the same toads that he's been battling. I'm pretty sure he killed 1 toad unit. Yeah, so Malice is up to 1,000 value right now. Top objective actually being taken back by the Dark Elves. Wow, very impressive. So this Dark Elf player certainly hasn't heard No bell. Yeah, he's grabbed objective 1. Might be able to find a way to get this low ground objective. A couple screamers are heading over here to chase down the repeater crossbows. They're probably going to call in some Cold Moon Knights to try and screen them, although the Dark Elves don't really have much in the way of supplies. So they are going to get 2 very expensive units kind of chased here. Definitely need to do some fancy maneuvering. So Nurglings do get folded up. These Nurglings probably going to be losing to the Dreadspears eventually. And this is a huge power play here from the forces of the demons. Chasing down both of these Dark Riders is just super, super fat. Super fat. Looking at objective 2, demons got that one pretty comfortably. Good luck killing a Plague Bearer unit on that point. A couple Coldo Knights chasing down the doggos on the side. So we see Alls running away with the Fleshhounds of Khorne. But the Coldo Knights might be able to catch them. Perhaps a little bit of a lapse in micro. I think he's very focused over here. And will the Corsairs get this objective? That would maybe keep the Dark Elves in the game. But on the backside, we see the repeater crossbows being chased to the edge of the map. A couple spears called out to try and screen for them. And one of them does escape, which is a very, very nice grab right there. And now Malice Beamblade is going to be going demon form, which is going to be, you know, his death warrant in a way, but on that same coin, he'll do a ton of AoE damage if he uses his ability. So is he going to use it? Malice is in his demon form, so Zarkan has taken over. And is he going to be using the Reaper of Souls? It does good damage. It's really not bad. So there goes Reaper of Souls. Nice, hitting the Nurgling units and the Plague Bearers. We see the Cold Moon Knights engaging against Screamers and Toads. Cold Moon Knights are going to lose that for sure, but they'll be able to drag down a couple of those guys. But Malice does get a little bit of crumbling in the middle, and the Dark Elves, are they going to work some of their magic here? Dark Rider, Repeater Crossbows, if they can get an engagement on these Plague Bearers, that's going to be pretty gods here. We'll see. What you would want to do is park them on the edge of the objective where the Plague Bearers can't deal with you, but it looks like he misses it. Oh, that's not good. Because now objective 1 is going to be flipping back to the Demons of Chaos. This was like a free 800 value right here, these Plague Bearers. You just run with these Corsairs, sit on the side of the objective and shoot them, and then you just get a ton of value. But he's still getting a good engagement here. Shooting into the Plague Toads here ain't bad at all. So Malice Beamblade's doing it, man. He's slowly clearing out that middle objective. He is not messing around. Yeah, he's clearing out all these little demons. I'm surprised he doesn't do magic damage when he turns into Zarkan. That, I feel like, is a bit of an oversight. That would have been pretty cool, but nonetheless, yeah, he's tail whipping these Nurglings. And the middle point still in control for the demons as more Toads move in, but Dread Spears will counter those Toads very effectively. We also have Helabroni in here, the most chill spears in all the realm. Anti-large, certainly no joke. Now over on objective number 3, we do see the Dark Elves holding on to this one. Repeater Crossbows might be able to get some work in here. Could we see a Druchii comeback here? This is becoming very, very scrappy, actually. As this objective has flipped to the Dark Elves, high ground objective in control of the Demons of Nurgle. Definitely need to see these Repeater Crossbows farming these Plague Bearers. That's like so much free value right there. You gotta go for that. But Malice Beamblade and the boys in the middle might be able to get this one, guys. This is getting really, really close. That objective starts to flip. Nurglings and Fleshhounds desperately trying to scrap on the battlefield. More Toads being called in. And I'm sure that your boy Alls is probably sweating bullets right now. He's like, probably felt like he had that game in the bag in terms of value, but value can be very deceiving sometimes, right? Because the thing is, demon units disintegrate. So when you kill a demon unit and get it low, it's going to disintegrate and it's going to lose like 10, 15, 20% of its HP, okay? So then, that doesn't reflect in the gold damage value. So, like, this game is probably much closer in value than it would appear because of the fact that the demons do, of course, disintegrate. So Malice duking it out here. Dread Spears and Corsairs holding down that middle objective very comfortably. Here we have the Repeater Crossbow shooting at the Plague Bearers. Screamers coming in to counter them from Alls, which is a very, very good call. Currently, Alls sitting at 1130 on points against 947. It is a double cap. The Druchii do have that nice cap. Side point being held by Corsair Troopers, but the Chicken might be able to fend them off. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. A couple Dread Spears moving over to the point, which is going to be pretty big. Dread Spear unit is basically a counter against all these, in theory. Granted, the Exalted Lord of Change, Fleshhounds, and Screamers probably could 3v1 them just based on sheer kind of weight of gold. And yeah, this is going to be a tight game here for sure. I do think the Demons probably still have a bit of an advantage holding the side points. But, you know, Malice probably needs to make his way over to one of the side points and make sure that the Dark Elves can hold on to a double cap. If the Dark Elves can hold on to a double cap, they will still win. It'll be very, very close, but they're still going to be winning. So Repeater Crossbows force back. Corsair is going to be heading to the point. We do see the Dark Rider shooting some nice shots into the side of these Plague Bearers. A little bit of a lapse in micro here. Definitely need to see these guys gather up both sides of these forces and move up and then start shooting their arrows all over these Plague Bearers right here. Otherwise, you know, that's a lot of wasted value on the side. Yeah, man, Dark Elves might be coming back in this game. This is looking like a good scrap back, man. Just the persistence and starting to get some of those good engagements. Also, the Demons have run out of magic, so I don't think we're seeing any Zinchian magic. And the Demons are definitely a faction that is more reliant on blue fire spam and magic and things like that to get good engagement. So, yeah, wild stuff, man. Wild stuff indeed. Up on the high ground, Repeater Crossbows have moved in, and there's going to be a big burning head on these Nurgle Demons. They get absolutely cooked there, having a really, really bad time. And, man, Brutal, brutal stuff. Corsairs arriving. Corsairs will be able to win against those Plague Bears now. Crows of Cain are such a good counter against Screamers, by the way. They're infantry size, so Screamers actually don't have any bonuses against them, and yeah, it makes a big difference. You guys know you missed it. That's something I can't do in Age of Empires. We don't have any drawing tools, so it's a Total War thing. You know, it's truly magic. Man, all the points are kind of in flux. Look at them all like shifting around here. Dreadspear's trying to hold this point. Not going to be easy with some Nurglings on it. Demons might be able to wrestle back the middle as well. This game is so razor close, ladies and gentlemen. But Malice is definitely turning a lot of the engagements in the middle. Wherever he is, just Havoc and Chaos follow in short. So Toads moving up, Nurglings fighting on the point. A couple demon units are going to be crumbling off, which may give the Druki the advantage on the point once again. Reaper of Souls is so big here. That is so good. That's going to be draining down all of these little bandits. So all these Nurglings and Toads going to be getting afflicted by that. That's going to lead them to crumbling. And also, man, Malice is raid bossing this game. Absolutely raid bossing. He's doing really, really good. Now the Dark Elves do get that point back. Meanwhile, on the high ground, Dark Elves looks like they're going to be taking this one. As this is a cool tech. For any of you Dark Elf players who are fighting demons ever in PvP, having a Crows of Cain or a Harpy unit to counter Screamers in reserve seems like a really, really good idea. All right, so we're going to be seeing the end of the demons up on the high ground here. We do see the Plague Bears getting cooked by the fires of the old world once again as the Corsair units continue cleaving through these Plague Bears here. So they're getting the business pretty good and tasty like. Meanwhile, we see the Crows of Cain flying over and looking to hustle towards the middle. Blackheart Corsairs being unsummoned, got to do a little bit of housekeeping, but I think that the Dark Elves got this. They've closed the value gap to only 1,300, and with Crumbling being taken into account, I think that they're probably ahead on value. Malice is just an absolute unit, and he's been able to kind of edge this battle. I love seeing like characters that are, you know, more combat focused, don't have magic, being good. It's not as common, but Bloodstorm going down, giving him a little bit of ward save as well. And that's GG. I mean, he's going to be passing them in points very soon. Demons of Chaos are looking like basically just potatoes right now. They don't have a whole lot. Alza's got some Nurglings and his big chicken out, moving some Plague Bears in, but Malice is just no prisoners. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic, right? You see the magic using character come out to an early lead with all of its magic, but the sustained value of like of a straight combat character is being shown here. Malice is like kind of, you know, turning the table around because he's consistently generating value, if less than magic in the beginning, more later on. It's like in WoW, for example. You might have a mage and a warrior, right? But the mage may run out of mana, but the warrior, even though it might do less damage initially, will eventually do some good damage in the long run. That was kind of like how those combos in WoW Arena used to go. You would have like the mage druid combos, and yeah, it was very fun. So yeah, GG, well played. Great stuff. Cool, Malice Beamblade. He carried that pretty hard here. Aside from that, yeah, good repeater crossbow play, and it was a fun game. Good match on both sides. Yeah, the Harpies coming in with the steel chair was pretty big. Yeah, pretty big. GG. All right. Sounds good. Who's, what's your name on tourney? Got to do some adminning here real quick. So let's check this out and see how we're looking. I know the Toads were doing it, man. Crumbling also keeps you from unsummoning beat up units. Well, typically they'll crumble and just go back into the pool anyway, so. All right, so I don't know who he was. Is that the Love Guru? Oh, okay, so he's the Love Guru as well. Okay, got it. We'll drop you. All right, so he is the Love Guru. I love it. It's pretty great. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and drop you. Do that, and we're all set. Alrighty, so fun game. Demons of Chaos, man. You know, they needed Red Olgor. They needed the Red Olgor. The Dark Lord himself needed to emerge, but he was nowhere to be found in everyone's hour of need. Okay, so where are we currently? It would appear the entire round is done. Charix, I think, should only have... How does he have so many points? So he won 3. So he got an extra one here. I need to fix that before we go to the next round. So just doing a little bit of housekeeping here, guys. Bear with me. And Buy the Dip also has 4 points, so we need to fix that. Buy the Dip. And do that. Yeah, because he had someone drop on him, I think. Okay, yeah, I don't know how he's got... Oh, no, he's got 3. Okay, so we're fine. We're fine there. So it's just you. Checking adminning. Where are we? No, Malice was no joke. He's a good character. He's good in land battle too. Although in land battle, people, typically just like kind of kite him around because there's no like parameters to end the game outside of army loss. So yeah, they'll just run around, and he's not quite. I think in Dom he's pretty good because he's like a force you have to. Although in land battle, Malice is if you're playing land battle with rules like proper tournament format, then yeah, like he's probably pretty good there. So all right, so Charix here. Let's see, fixing that, and then we'll advance to the next round. Yes. Yeah, Red Olgor would slap, but he'd also get repeater crossbowed in the face. It's pretty hard to protect him against that, I think. Pretty tricksy hobbitses. Okay, so that is fixed. Let's refresh this, advance the round, and we will start our fourth and final round of regulation, and then we go on to the grand finals. So, okay, so let's drop. Cheramis should have 3 points here. No, should it be 3? So he should have 2, actually. Okay, so 2 points. So I need to fix that. All right, so let's fix you, do that, and go from here. Yeah, I don't know what demon... The Nurgle Demon Prince is pretty badass, too. He's a tanky boy. He's not messing around. He ain't messing around. Okay. Come on, website, load. Old Total Tavern, man, still going strong. Still going strong. Okay, so that's going to be 2 points for you. And we'll fire it up, man. Lost Isle Colony is East Isle Colony. Yeah, I just screwed the yes. It's you guys know what it is. It's Eastern Isle Colony. Yeah. Okay. Map is Eastern Isle Colony. I just put it in Discord as well, so if anybody's confused about the map. All right. I always forget to change the maps in between tournaments, and then I just like copy and paste the description over, and it's like the same maps. I'm so bad about that. I got to fix that. All right, so advance to Swiss, and here we go. All right, so the round is gone here, and let's see what they do. So B6 is going to need a... He's going to get a Swiss point there, and the next round has started. All right, good luck, have fun. Round started. Let's get it, guys. So this is going to be determining who goes to the semifinals and grand finals of today's tournament. And we should be able to party from there. I thought I saw Mother Stank driving today when I was at night. Where do you live? Mother Stank definitely... Okay, so that's Cheramis' score, and this is your score, so it should be 1 now. And what match do we want to cast? So taking a look here, who have we not seen today? So we have By the Dip versus Charix, Serkia versus Alls, Outer Region versus Cheramis. So Outer Region lost the game. Who is undefeated so far? So undefeated players are Charix and By the Dip. So By the Dip is on Dark Elves. I don't know what Charix is playing. We could cast their game again. Yeah, that would actually be fun. We'll see the battle of the undefeated players. I think that'd be great. All right, so let me message Charix here. All right. Lobby code, please. We'll cast your game. All right. So he's all set. And let's go find Charix's match. I believe he is lives in Poland. Okay, so it's Love Guru, Outer Region, Iskander. So we just need to wait a second, and he should have it for us in just a moment. I don't know who's playing Kislev today. I don't know if we have anyone playing Kislev. We have demons. Saw a couple elves in there. Serkia is probably playing wood elves, I would guess. Yeah. Upstate New York, yeah. Yeah, that's cold. That's certainly some very cold weather. All right, so we got that. Let's get in here and find our lobby, and then we can chill out a little bit. And spectate is going to be into outstanding. All right, guys, let's fire it up. Let's get our last match of regular regulation going. And we got Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Ooh, an Elven duel on the Eastern Isle Colonies. So be it. Malice is going to be making an appearance once again. We talked about this earlier, but what do I think about CA's statement? Yeah, I think it's nice, right? But the fact that they gave refunds for Pharaoh is pretty big, because that was definitely just like a Saga game packaged like a full title. So that was. I mean, I've heard some people like Pharaoh. Personally, myself, I wasn't too much of an enjoyer. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if they actually follow through with what they said they're going to do. Then yeah, well, I'll be very hyped for sure. But even still, I don't really like follow that type of stuff too much. Like I didn't even know that got posted till somebody sent it to me. Yeah, I just kind of focus on the game that we have and enjoy it, and you know, yeah, not so much on the old drama. I don't know if we've had any ogres in the tournament today. Let me go read through every single faction that we do have. So who do we have? We have, so scrolling down here, we have Vampire Coast, who I believe they're gone. We have Druki, Slaanesh, Demons, Lizards on Cheramis, Bretonnia, Dark Elves, Wood Elves, Bretonnia, Norska, Slaanesh, Tomb Kings, Wood Elves, Bretonnia, Empire. Well, interesting range of factions. Like a lot of the traditional villains. No Kislev, no Ogre Kingdoms. Yeah, interesting range. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, gaming companies nowadays just kind of like suck so bad in general, like across the spectrum, that like when I see what some other companies do, I'm like, well, you know, it could be worse. Yeah, we're just like used to just suffering, you know. Random question: how would you guys feel about new terrain types like tall grass or spiky rocks that give stat debuffs in total tavern maps? So for me personally, I don't like anything that gives stat variances, but for holding objectives. I think it's very unfair because some factions are so dominant at holding points, whereas other factions have to play off point and work on value progressively, that it just gives even more of a compounding advantage to the faction on the point. So I really dislike things that give you a benefit for holding an objective. I don't like that myself. But some people, I think casually, I would never use such maps in any of my tournaments. So, but that's just me. Because like, there was a map that like gave melee attack for holding the center point, and like if I'm playing a defensive faction that doesn't have the brute force to hold it, then I just find that like my entire opponent's faction getting +2 or +4, +6 melee attack is just nonsense. It's like I'm just getting crushed now. I think for a casual perspective it's fine, but personally, yeah. Fun says he hates fun. It's just not fair, you know. That's just my 2 cents, though. Yeah, it's just my 2 cents. Okay. What do we got here? Yeah, Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Probably Wood Elves are going to use some Way Watchers. Charix is I believe, one of our old school faction wars with Wood Elves. Yeah. I think he means terrains like forests. He says new terrains like tall grass roads, spiky rocks that give stat buffs, debuffs, and oh, okay. So if you're talking about terrain like forests and like thick vegetation and water, I think that's fine to explore. For sure. I don't think that's a huge problem. Not like the entire map, but certain areas. Yeah. Yeah, if we're talking about like just like grass and trees and like things that like affect monstrous units or affect infantry, like shallow water, like I'm not like opposed to trying that for sure. Because as long as you can play around it, if it doesn't benefit you or you can move around it, something like that, you know? Yeah. It'd be worth looking at. It for sure would be worth looking at. So Dark Elves and Druki. In Warhammer 2, back in the days of old, this used to be a very Wood Elf favored matchup. But I think a domination mode has changed that, because in land battle, the Wood Elves could kite them very effectively. And you still can do kiting here, but typically you do have to fight at some point. You know, it's not like the olden days of Wood Elves where you'd see somebody running around the map for 25 minutes and then attacking with the dragon in the 4th quarter after using all of their ammo. So yeah, could be cool, man. Could be cool. Could be neat indeed. Malice maybe makes another appearance here. He could. He's pretty resilient. He also would be good at bullying on the point. This map is a very good like fighting on 1 point. But yeah, Charix probably is going to go triple Way Watcher, would be my guess. I think we'll see, maybe not triple, but double at least. Probably not Prey of Anathrema, but probably that plus a Dragon Lord. Helm of Discord Dragon would be really nice. Prey of Anathrema Dragon is good too, though. Like, dragons are just very... they've been making a bit of a comeback for sure. Like the Forest Dragons, I've been seeing them a ton in some of the replays people have been sending me. If we ever get servers, we can recreate arena maps with Warhammer factions. Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to get servers for Warhammer 3. It's not going to happen. There was a time in Warhammer 2 when I was optimistic about it. And apparently it was part of the discussion for Warhammer 3, but it was something that they decided not to invest in. So it's a big shame. It's a big shame for sure. But I think that the game engine is apparently, from what I've heard, it's like designed around peer-to-peer, so they'd have to like redesign like the whole multiplayer system for server-based connections, so we're not going to see that. Witch King, I don't think we'll see Witch King. I mean, Foot Witch King could actually be an interesting choice. Like him with Gaze of Malice and Soul Stealer fighting on the objective could be really badass, actually. Because Gaze of Malice is super good against like Witch Elves and, not Witch Elves, but War Dancers and units like that. Yeah, that could be rad. Yeah, I mean, there's so many so much fun potential here. Like FFAs are also fun, but just lag is a problem. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I do think though that for future titles, like if we do end up getting a Warhammer, hey, I got one part right. I got the double Waywatcher right. If we do end up getting Warhammer Total War Warhammer 40K, I think they'll do servers for that game, because the amount of people that they're going to pull in for that, especially since Warhammer is often like a multiplayer thing, I think that would justify the servers. I think at that point we would get it. If Turn won the lottery, he'd buy servers for this game. Yeah. Maybe I would have like a year ago. I think at this point, no, it's like, yeah. I don't know about now. You know, I don't know about now. Warhammer 3 server money went to Hyenas development. Oh, God, dude. Hyenas was such an atrocity, man. You know? But you know what they say. Sometimes, like, before something can change, it needs to hit rock bottom, right? And maybe Hyenas was rock bottom for CA. That was just like the culmination of all the haggard management and like failures just in Hyenas. And now maybe they can rise like a phoenix from the ashes. That's what we all hope, right? Because they have made great games for... God, I've been playing CA games since the early 2000s, you know? Like, yeah, the original Rome and Shogun 2. God, those were good times. And, you know, Warhammer, for the most part, despite its problems, has been such an awesome game for so many years. And it still is in so many ways. It has its flaws, but it's still great. At least for my kind of niche. I don't touch the campaign, so I don't know anything about that. That's like obviously for many people the main experience. But all right, guys, we got Lokir Felhart. He's good. You know, he's like Sigvald. He just sits and fights in combat on the objective and heals. We do have a master too. Interesting. So is the master there as attack against like Treekin or something? Curious about him. Silver shielded. He does have Guardian, so you put him near Lokir, and he's going to be able to provide some ward saves. So that's nice. And aside from that, it's going to be Dread Spears backed up by Bleak Swords. And in the backfield, we got Dark Riders, and a Sorceress of Fire. So basically just a lot of silver shielded units. Almost choked on some water there. And Dark Riders just to play the skirmish game and to chase down archers. So very, very straightforward there for the Druchii army. Now, for the forces of Charix, it is going to be a pretty elite force. We have 2 Waywatchers, which won't have too many good targets, honestly. What do they want to be shooting? Yeah, Dread Spears, Bleak Swords are awful targets. Master and Lokir are both awful targets too. So I do like the army from By the Dip so far. Now, up in the sky, we got Sisters of Twilight, War Dancers, and a Branch Wraith. All right, cool. So Branch Wraith does have Melkoth and Earthblood, both of which are good. War Dancers will uptrade into this army very effectively, but there are a lot of numbers there on that Dark Elf force and not too many good targets. That is for damn sure. That is for sure. Shame about the lack campaigns or Carl Franz. Yeah, you know, the campaigns are fun. But personally, I enjoy the thrill of the hunt because, you know, campaign you're always gonna win unless you just put on some stupid, ridiculous like filter where you just like have no chance against like AI endless waves or something. But you know, I like the ever evolving challenge of multiplayer myself. PvP campaigns, I do like those. If we had dedicated servers, I would do those more often. But yeah, to me, it's just rough to do that when it's just lagging and taking forever to load, right? So Sisters of Twilight up in the sky can be very impactful. A good character, they can get in and just beat the hell out of Lokir if they can find him isolated. Breath attacks are good. They can also do spray fire mode, Talons of the Dusk, and shoot into the bunched up troopers, which isn't terrible. So probably saving ammo and not shooting initially would be the right play. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Is she going to shoot? Nope, ammo's being conserved, which is very smart, and just going to be flying over the Dark Elf army. Dark Elves immediately call in a bolt thrower, so the Reaper bolt thrower here in the back will be a good counter against Sisters. They can just kind of sit on them the entire game and put a little bit of pressure on their HP, which isn't bad. And now we get the back pressure moving in. So we do see the Dark Riders, but oh my god, they just get melted. Absolutely melted. Negative 18 leadership. So they just got folded. Man, they got folded like a lawn chair there. And those Dark Riders going to get just basically KO'd immediately, which has got to feel pretty good. And now we get the Sisters moving in, engaging against the Dark Riders. Big Dragon going to be landing in the back. And overall, a bit of a rough start for By the Dip, but the same thing happened last game. Last game, By the Dip was behind, but he was able to come back and win. So despite a relatively rough initial start. 2 Dark Rider units getting pounded into the Shadow Realm. Another one maybe going to get popped here as well. Ouch, ouch. That's going to be maybe 3 of those. Or was that the same one that looped up and around? It was a little bit hard to tell, but that was... yeah, that was a tough one, man. Harpy's being called in the back from by the dip. It looks like he's going to be trying to move in and jump on those Way Watchers. But Wood Elves are really good at defending their missiles against like this type of harass. Against heavy cavalry, it's a little bit harder because the heavy cav can endure your Glade Riders and your other units like that. But Harpies should get picked off by either Glade Riders or missile focus fire. So yeah, really good start here for Charix. He's able to get 2 units of Dark Riders down. They both are running for the hills, and pretty brutal start here out of the gates. Now, in the backfield, we do have the Reaper Bolt Thrower in single fire mode, but Charix is using his dreaded Zoomer micro here to fly around with his Sisters of Twilight, jumping up and down and up and down, and now has actually found the Sorceress in the bushes. Might actually attack. We'll see if the dragon decides to. Forest Dragon. Forest Dragons are so cool looking. I think they're one of the best. The Forest Dragons and Black Dragons, I think, are just like so rad. I mean, but they're all pretty cool. Even Chaos Dragons, you just never see them because they're so shitty. But yeah, maybe someday Chaos Dragons will rise from the ashes. So more Wood Elf focus fire as the Way Watchers shoot into the back of these Dread Spears. And the reason why they're shooting right now is because the Dread Spears turn to their backs to run. So that means that their shields are not going to be relevant there. Now, Objective 2 does go to Charix. And now he's going to be moving up to play the side objective here. So he's going to be scooting up with the War Dancers. What I would like to see would maybe be the missiles. Yeah, bring them up like this and this. Is that going to be a Burning Head attempt? Okay, that's pretty wild. Yeah, Burning Head right there goes down and probably will not be doing a whole lot. Maybe tickling the pickle of this one Way Watcher here. Does end up roasting a couple of them, but doesn't actually get any kills. And here we see another Dark Rider unit moving into the backfield. But the Glade Rider with the Branch Wraith able to actually defeat it using Melkoths, I would expect. But I would like to see the 2 missile units go over here. Because then the Wood Elves could do a really nice objective push, like here and here, and have the Way Watchers focus firing and taking down the enemy missile units that are trying to shut down the War Dancers. Woven missed. Man, Charix has really good micro. Like, he's reacting to everything really quickly. And this gives him 40% missile resist, which is huge. I mean, that's a massive amount of damage mitigation on the Dark Riders. You add that to their physical resist, and they're basically taking 60% less damage, right? If I don't know if there's some weird... value increments on there and whatnot. But yeah, that's a pretty huge range damage mitigation. So Glade Rider's hustling around the side. Harpy's coming in. It is going to be the Harpy sneak attack, maybe looking to go after the Way Watchers. And now we get a call out of Dryads as well as Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, which in theory should counter the Dark Riders. They can shoot 360, they can chase them, they can outfight them in combat. Their melee stats are way better. So here they come. So moving up are the War Dancers. War Dancers will trade pretty well here, but they will struggle against Blackheart Corsairs. That's a really nice play by the dip, calling in the Blackheart Corsairs to counter those. And so far, the Druki are holding on to the objectives. Though they're taking damage from the Wood Elves, the Wood Elves are going to start falling behind on points even more, and that could be the turning of the tide. So here we see the Way Watchers blasting those Harpies into the Shadow Realm. So the Harpies are like, they start to land, and they're like, actually, you know what, screw that, as they eat 1,000 Legolas arrows to the face. Way Watchers definitely need to move this way. You need to grab both of them. So there's 2 Way Watchers here, right? You grab this one, and then you move right over here. So a little short movement. And then you can start shooting into these guys and getting a fair amount of damage, right? Burning Head, let's see what kind of work we get here. All right, so there it goes. And that was a good Burning Head. Does end up getting through the Earthblood does come in response and will mitigate some of that damage coming in. But By the Dip's doing a really good job. I wonder if the Wood Elves are going to move over to the middle objective. Here in the back, we see the Sisters of Twilight heading over towards the Reaper Bolt Thrower in the back. More Bolt Thrower shots are shooting into the Sisters, but they should be able to endure that. Sisters also do have that free healing ability. The Conjoined Destiny, so if they get really, really beat up, they can just start to heal on their own. So sometimes trying to snipe them is a little bit tough. The Sacred Strategy. For that, it actually made sense, though. You guys got to just embrace it sometimes, you know? You got to embrace it. So, looks like Wood Elves are switching up to the middle. War Dancers need to be given new charge orders. We'll see if Charix gets it. Looks like he had them charging the wrong unit. So, unfortunately, they're not going to get the best engagement there, but overall, they should do okay. But, yeah, Lokir Felhart's going to be a big factor down here. He hits very, very hard with his twin blades. So he should be able to chop through a lot of these War Dancers here, which normally would be having a good fight. And yeah, we got all the mobility moving over towards Objective 1. Sisters of Twilight doing a little bit of downward shooting. Breath Attack of the Gods. Oh, that's going to be a big Breath Attack. Oh, that's such an erect Breath Attack. Dear God, he just got like 800 value from that. Melts 2 units. That's got to feel really, really good for Charix. He found that great pick there. and was able to get what he came for. Now, bolt throwers online, or repeater bolt throwers, repeater crossbows, the cavalry, excuse me. And they're going to be shooting up into the sisters, trying to keep them honest. Dryads flanking in from the side. So the Dryads did come through the tree line, it looks like, and we're able to flank around the back. So we got Dryads around the back here. Another Dryad unit going to be chasing off these repeater crossbows here. And now that breath attack, I think, just busted that objective open. As now you can see the War Dancers and the Branch Wraiths, both of them are here with their double Melkoths, are going to be cackling in tree, and they have that objective under control. What the hell was that? That was like some weird ability there. It's like some forbidden, terrible ability you never see. Harpies once again trying to get on the Way Watchers, but Charik's just playing a very, very clean game. Although I have to say, By the Dip has been holding this very well. He's made it very tricky for his opponent to kind of get him off the objective here. Up in the sky, Sisters of Twilight getting take some damage. Certainly not bad, as the Manticore lands to go after a Branch Wraith, which is very risky. Branch Wraiths are actually really good fighters. 52 melee attack. The two Branch Wraiths are going to just beat the hell out of this Feral Manticore. As we do see a Melkoth going down on their repeater crossbows, they're going to be forced into the Shadow Realm, and I can't help but think that the old hard wood is going to start taking over this game, although this objective is still in flux a little bit. We do see the Crows of Cain getting chased off into the Shadow Realm by the Wild Hunters of Kurnit. So we do see the Elite Wild Riders being called in here for Chariks. These things, they do some work. They're a little bit strange, but overall, what does that sound? Oh my god, there was like some weird siren outside my house. I swear, earthquakes and sirens, some sort of a zombie apocalypse coming. Always a little bit distracting. But on the back objective, we do see a lot of idle units here for old By the Dip. Maybe he wants to activate some of these. Like, I would say move at least 2 of these infantry units over here to try and help support this. The Wood Elves do now have this objective pretty firmly in their control, as the Dryads and War Dancers will outtrade many of those units there. Sisters chasing down skirmishers from the back, almost out of ammunition, but again, like, if you can't, like, alpha strike them, you're not going to be able to kill them. That passive healing is going to be very, very good. So another Melkoth's going down, Branch Wraiths diving into the backfield. And yeah, these tree spirits are no joke, man. They got their big branches out, and they're going to be slapping the base, and there they go once again, slapping onto those units. And I suspect Chariks probably will start to take over this game even more, as he has accrued a respectable value lead. Not that much. It's actually about 600, and yeah, the Dark Elves are kind of bringing it back, but there's a lot of healing. We have Earthbloods, and we have the Draconic healing on the Sisters of the Twilight, which is going to be incredibly nasty. Lokir has been a menace, though. He's been just in the backfield causing tons of mischief. And looks like he's chasing down various archer units. Branch Wraith versus the Manticore now. Manticore also being attacked by War Dancers. War Dancers hit somewhat hard against light armor, so they're going to be able to get some work done. Branch Wraith does slap the Manticore, and that Manticore is now rampaging. A charge coming in from Dark Riders into the back of War Dancers will be good. The War Dancers should be able to endure that and turn around and return the favor to them. Bolt Thrower is still working on these Sisters, and you have to remember, a lot of the value you're seeing on the battlefield is actually tied up in the Sisters of Twilight, who, of course, are going to be able to heal pretty massively if need be. But I like this play from By the Dip a lot. Moving up here with the reserve units that were kind of sitting idle and threatening the back objective is a really, really good play. But it's pretty easy for Wood Elves to reinforce that. They have this, and they also have the Vanguard point for Dryads here. So one Dryad unit does arrive, and Dryads will definitely smash these. You can see here the Bleak Swords get rode down by the Wild Hunters of Kurnit. So Orion's chosen champions and the Branch Wraiths should be able to move in here and melt these poor Bleak Swords. So Bleak Swords getting melted off the point. And the Dread Spear is also going to get melted off the point, and that will probably be all she wrote for that kind of push here. There's a Corsair unit, which might be able to trade well, but I think that the Wild Hunters with the Dryads are going to be able to kill them all. Because you just get the Dryads in the front, and then the Wild Hunters just like circle, surround, and just beat all those guys down. And yeah, it's going to be a bad time for them. Branch Wraith still lurking in the backfield, and it looks like the Branch Wraith is going to be going for the Bolt Thrower, which is almost out of ammo, but if you can prevent the Unsummon, that's actually nice. And Sisters of Twilight hanging out at 3,000 HP. Middle objective looking to be under the control of the Wood Elves still. Their War Dancers and Branch Wraiths holding well. I would like to see the Sisters just dive this Master. The Master of Puppets here certainly not pulling any strings. He's looking pretty low at 769, that's what she said, HP. So the Sisters moving in and just finishing it off would be, I think, a really, really good play. So it doesn't keep grinding and getting kills on the point. So right here, we do see Objective 2. Dark Elves might be able to have a chance of flipping this one. The War Dancers with Azrai Spears have arrived. But yeah, that's going to be a really, really tough one. And now we see the Wild Hunters actually stealing the Dark Elves' home objective here. And the counter is going to be Colden Knights, which is a good call. Colden Knights will be pretty nasty, but I think Wild Hunters of Kurnit would win that if they decide to take that fight. Speed difference is 66 against 85, so Wild Hunters should be able to outmaneuver them right there. Meanwhile, Dark Elves kind of getting some work in here. Sisters with another breath attack, not going to get the best angle. It kind of hits the edge of the formation. It might lead to the breaking of some Dread Spears. But yeah, they might get this. Dryads maybe going to be able to scrap that one back in due time. And yeah, this one is actually getting pretty close to flipping. And we do see a unit of Azrai Spears moving up. Azrai Spears will be able to dominate these really, really good Melkoths here. Man, it just seems like so stressful to play against his playstyle, these Wood Elves. But yeah, this one's going to flip for sure. Like, these War Dancers are pretty much full health, have their full capture weight, and the Cold Knights are going to get forced off the point. Meanwhile, on the back objective, it looks like it was flipped to the Dark Elves, but that's not going to last very long. These Sisters come in and just tear out everything off. The big Dragons getting some work done, and all of these light cavalry just get the rear charge and sandwich these Faldruki, sending them back to the frozen waste from whence they came. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a triple cap with a 2,000 value lead. Also the healing advantage for the forces of the Hardwood. Hardwood forgot to finish capturing this objective, which is pretty unfortunate for them. It's still owned by Dark Elves, actually. Literally just needed one more sliver on that objective. So slight blunder there by Charix, but certainly not going to be game-ending by any stretch of the imagination. And here we do see the Wild Hunters of Kurnis continuing to dominate, getting a nice Earthblood, going to ride down these Dark Riders and crush them into the Shadow Realm. Dragons moving in, and that's got to be it. I suspect that by the dip will probably tap out here relatively soon. We'll have to see. We will have to see. So big dragon moving in. He's going to tear out those off. Dryads are now up to the point. Dark Elves just trickling in. The dreaded Reaganomics are here, just sending in one unit. The trickle-down theory is in full effect. Lokir apparently died earlier, so I think the Sisters or the Branch Wraiths or some combination of units might have killed him. But he's back for round 2. He got 300 value in his first life, so certainly he's no Sigvald, that's for sure. He doesn't have the Silver Shield. Sigvald is just a way better version of Lokir. Granted, Lokir does have the option to, ride a dragon, so that is one pro that he does have. So, Bleak Swords getting run down here, and now we got all the Dryads moving up. Race of the Frozen Heart, going to be able to wrestle that objective easy peasy. And yeah, there's nothing left. I mean, it's just literally Lokir. Lokir is just going to do nothing. Wild Hunters of Kurnis will continue riding down any reinforcements. Oh my god! Lokir, yeah, he's definitely no Sigvald. Like, Sigvald would have just taken that on his Silver Shield, but Lokir getting alpha striked by these Way Watchers is brutal. Oh my god. Look at that. Another volley. Lokir's almost dead again, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, that's what, like, not having a Silver Shield is, he has some of the prerequisites of being a good foot character in that he heals, but man, that was brutal. He takes another volley to the back here. He does manage to get into combat, but not before he's brought down to a very, very low amount of health. And GG, well played. This game's over. I've been casting this game for years. I can tell you from experience. This one's pretty damn over, guys. This one is pretty damn over. Yeah, there's literally nothing they can do. It looks like a new bolt thrower was called in, which is cute. Might be able to poke down the Sisters with a little bit of HP damage, but it's not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. By the dip still has a good chance of making top 4. Might get another chance at this matchup around 2 later on, but for now, Charix has been very dominant here towards the later stages of the game. I think that By the Dip did a good job fighting early on. It was very good. Holding the 2 objectives and mitigating some of the harass, but, you know, Charix's pressure eventually just added up. We're going to see another Bolt Thrower go down as the Glade Riders now just swarm in all directions. And yeah, this is just an absolute disaster. GG, well played. The Wood Elves looking extra hard today, man. Looking extra hard. Lokir's doing his best, he is. Yeah, he's doing his best. He stands alone, he did. Hey, Lokir managed to get up to 400 value with 2 lives. The big plays. So yeah, fun stuff, man. GG, well played. Really good Way Watcher play. Beautiful. I mean, everything was really on point for Charix. He didn't really make too many mistakes, and that was, you know, very evident there in that old match. All right, so let's refresh this and see how the brackets look. Should be closing in on the top 4 here. All right. So switching on over to the brackets, we do have Charix winning, Outer Region defeating Cheramis, Icarus here battling it out and winning his match 2. Serkian, Alls, and Iskander and Scrambled Egg Special. Did B6 get their points? Yes, they did. So currently, yeah, Charix should have more than 3, right? Did Charix lose a game? Charix should have, yeah, won every game. Okay. So sometimes the score reporting can be a little bit funky here, so let me go ahead and fix that. So we will fix this real quick and get that set up. So Charix should be at 4. Yes. So we'll fix that to make sure he gets his spot in the top finals. Yeah, man, should be all right. Dude, Durthu would have been pretty cool for sure, but Durthu is very vulnerable to being shot by a bunch of AP missiles. So that's like one thing that is very, very tough about Durthu. Yeah, I don't know why Charix's points aren't at 4. He's undefeated from what I can tell. All right, so did he report the score wrong or something? Okay, no, it should be working now. I guess he was in the process of reporting the score. Okay, let's go to signups. There they go. All right. So they just reported that. 2 games left to finish. I think Serkia is playing for an undefeated spot also. Let me see. Yes, yes. By the Dip is definitely qualified because you can see his tiebreaker score is really good. He's had tough opponents the entire time. Outer region looking like he can qualify. With Icarus, maybe. It depends like on who played, because the tiebreaker, these guys could affect the tiebreaker too. So we're going to have to see how the top 4 kind of emerges here in a minute. You didn't miss everything. No, we still have the semifinals and the grand finals. So you still have a little bit of time. I won 2 matches with Durthu today. Hell yeah, Charix. Let's go. The pride of Poland, man, coming in. Crushing it with his giant treat, man. You gotta love it. All right. So, yeah, Durthu, what, like, Charix, what matchups is Durthu Bardzo Dobrze in? You know, where does he really shine? That means very good in Polish. I've yet to lose multiplayer with Durthu, but only like 8 games. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's a tanky tree. He's got some okay items and decent lore magic. Definitely not bad, but healing is very good too. This is a weird looking AoE 4 mod. It is. It is. Yes, we're currently... who would the Wood Elves be? They would probably be like the Celts or something. And then you would have the Dark Elves. I don't know who they would be in Age of Empires. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what would be the most kind of heavy similarities. Tough to say. Tough to say. Hey, Drews, you playing some Baldur's Gate 3? Nice. Yeah, it's a fun game. I burn out. I couldn't. Eventually, it got to the point where you're just like auto farming most of the fights, and then I just was like, I need to fight players again. So I kind of lost interest in it. Okay, so looking around here, so Chark says against Slaanesh for sure. Beats Sigval hard and punishes their blobs. That makes sense. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he's super tanky, and what do you just probably bring him with like Flock of Doom and just Flock of Doom the blob, and then have him like chase Sigvald around? Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. All right, so Alls needs to be dropped, does he? Okay, so taking a look here. All says he's dropping. Can you reassign me? Someone's there with a buy. Oh, okay. So, Serkia, you're just going to get a win here if Alls is dropping at this point, because the others are already playing. So, you are basically going to be guaranteed advancing to the top 4, because you ended up with 2 buy rounds considering Alls dropped. So, yeah, you're fine. Just hang tight, brother. Just hang tight. Okay, so let's drop Alls, and that should give Serkia his point. Because the only other person we could assign you to would be somebody who has no wins today, so it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't matter too much. Okay, so Serkia should be undefeated too, so let me fix that, give you your points. It's weird, it should give you that. I don't think you lost the game, did you, Serkia? I think you won them all. No, you did lose the outer region. Okay, so you should be at 3 points, yeah. And if it makes you feel any better, if I assign you to the other player, he has no wins, so you would not have gotten any tiebreaker score from playing him either. So it doesn't matter too much. At all, actually. Yeah. Yeah, you got buy-rounded pretty good. You would have had to have won your 3rd game to qualify for top 4. You would have had to have beaten outer region. Yeah. Finals will be a Wood Elf mirror. It could be. It could be. Yeah, because B6 is the only other player, and he hadn't won a single game today. So even if you beat him... let's see. Yeah, that would not have been brought. Yeah, your tiebreaker's too low regardless, even if you got 1 point from playing him. So, yeah. So it's you're basically just needed to win all your games. Yeah. Sorry about that. It can be a little bit troll when that happens. All right, let me refresh this. And right. Perfect. And all right, so even if you had played Alls and won, your tiebreaker still wouldn't have gotten you to the top 4. So if it makes you feel any better, yeah. So top 4 is Charix, By the Dip, Outer Region, and Scrambled Egg Special are currently the top 4. So let me go ahead and advance the Swiss, make sure everything looks good. I think it does, and yes. All right, so advancing this, advance the Swiss. No, that's good. So finalize, no, not finalize tournament. Advance the top 4. Yes. Okay, here we are. Okay. Let's party, man. Heading on over to the top 4. Should be popping up here in a second. There we are. Top 4 is going to be Outer Region versus Charix. Outer Region versus Charix. And then we have Scrambled Egg Special versus By the Dip. Good luck, have fun. All right, so the top 4 is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a look over at the brackets here. There you have it. We got Out of Region versus Charx and Scrambled Egg Special versus Buy the Dip. This is going to be our top 4 for today. Yes, yes. And we'll cast one of these games. So we have Out of Region is playing what? Bretonnia, is it? Versus Charx. Bretonnia versus Wood Elves is an interesting one. Scrambled Egg Special, let's see what he's playing, because we haven't casted any of his games today, so that could be fun. Scrambled Egg Special is playing, looking in Discord. I think he's playing Slaanesh. Yeah, so we have Slaanesh versus Dark Elves. And then we have Wood Elves versus, Empire. Oh, wait, no, that's Empire. That's right. Let's do that game. Yeah, so we're gonna do Out of Region's game. So Out of Region, send me your lobby code. Oh, I'm already in the lobby. Okay, well, that worked out great. Didn't even need to go anywhere. Blizzards will be back. It was just not a lot of people played today. I mean, we had a okay amount of signups, but so we didn't get like an insane range of factions or anything. Yeah. Oh God. I just accidentally ordered a new pair of jeans, and like I ordered them with the size that I wore like 3 months ago, and I just like cannot even get the button closed. Oh God, it's pure suffering. Oh, mortar wagons. Mortar wagons are actually not bad these days. Pretty good, you know, hard for the Wood Elves to snipe, and they do progressive damage. So static mortar positions are much harder to defend, and mortar wagons I think are definitely worth the premium here. So we got the Empire versus the Wood Elves here. It's going to be Outer Region versus Charx here in this Duel of Fates. This is the semifinal match, and let's see how this goes. Let's have some fun, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Double Steam Tank for the win. I don't think that's going to happen, no. All right, guys. Boris Todbringer, double wagons. Mortars shut down archers. Huntsmen are also very sneaky, so they can creep up on archers and also shoot the cavalry and lightly armored troopers. And then you just throw state troopers in there to hold while you burning head those guys. So that is kind of it. Yeah, nothing like forcing your jeans on. It's not the... Like, they fit fine everywhere. It's just like buttoning them is hard. You know? Yeah. Got to trade the standing desk for a treadmill desk. Yeah, I'm not even like that overweight. Like if you saw me, you wouldn't be able to tell. I think I carry the weight pretty well, but you know, deep down, I know it to be true. Under the t-shirt, where there was once a six-pack, there is now a keg, as they say. All right, guys. Spellweaver of Life is here, and we have the Earthblood and Flesh to Stone. Flesh to Stone is pretty badass. 60% Phys Res is really good. Like if you have one of your cav units, like a Great Stag Knight battling an Empire Knight, like that is a decisive one. That is a decisive one for sure. Aside from that, it's going to be War Dancers and Glade Riders, or Glade Guard. So a lot of missiles to shoot. Mortars will definitely be very good here, but these things will also be very efficient at melting anything light on the Empire roster. But for the most part, a lot of shielded state troopers. I don't know how well those missiles will do. We'll have to see. And looking at the Empire army, it's going to be mass state troopers. So he's got a huge box of, oh my God, what are these swordsmen? Look at this. What is this deployment pattern? It looks like a campaign. Looks like an AI deploying its army right now. So he gets Boris Todbringer on foot again, backed up by double Mortar Wagon and double Huntsman. So yeah, Mortar Wagons are excellent against Wood Elves, I think. I wouldn't say like top tier, but they're good. They can definitely just kind of poke away at some of these missile pieces. So should be fun, man. Now, I like the Hawkeyes of Drakira. Caster for the Wood Elves is going to be a Spellweaver of Life. Spellweaver of Life with Flesh to Stone and Earthblood, like I said earlier. Also, Loic's Blessing is pretty cool, so you can make it invisible and then sneak up on Empire Hellstorms and other things that you want with a Dwellers Below. So currently, the Spellweaver is invisible. What is it doing? Is it just scouting? Not sure. And something did a little bit of damage against these Mortar Wagons. What the hell did damage there? Oh, look at that. Charx knows it's coming. He was expecting the wagons. And look at that. Charx has... I didn't see them. They were so sneaky, but Charx has the double Waystalker. So these elite Wood Elf Rangers are able to creep up and get some really nice counterplay against the wagons. That's really cool. So I like that a lot. I think that's very rad. Yeah, that's an excellent counter against the wagons. We'll have to see. Outer Region is an AI confirmed. It is. You know how they made like an AI that was able to play like Brood War and stuff like StarCraft would? I wonder what like if we could get an AI to like learn to play this game and just be like the Terminator. Just like Robo Falcon or something. Yeah, could be fun. Nonetheless, Spearmen going to be parking on the objective, and here we see the Waystalkers cackling all the way to the bank, going after the Mortar Wagons. Mortar fire is now ringing out, so we can kind of see mortars. It's a little bit hard to tell against this backdrop of this lovely map, but the mortars are going to be raining some fire down on the Glade Guard. Glade Guard should be able to dodge that, and I think you definitely want to relocate the wagons far away. On the backside, the Hawkeyes of Drakira moving in, so Charx poking up. and blasting down those huntsmen there. So they're discouraged, and they certainly took a lot of damage. But the state troopers will be getting the objectives initially. This kind of looks very similar to the previous game, where we saw the Empire, not the Empire, but the Dark Elves with a lot of shielded infantry kind of getting picked apart over time. But we will see. So Empire Heavy Cavalry are on the hunt. It's going to be 2 Empire Knights. That's a lot of heavy armor to try and lock down these Waystalkers. And, I mean, they might be able to just get us around and kill them over a long period of time, but I doubt the Wood Elves are going to let that happen. Yeah, we got the Zoats, baby. So the Tree Dragon Ogres have come. So they've emerged from the bushes, and those Zoats, it's Zoatin' time, baby. Yeah, let's get it. A random mortar tags one of those bad boys, and the Waystalkers do end up getting surrounded by the Empire Knights. Zoats are going to be on their way out. And it would appear an Earthblood went down there. No, it does not look like it. But yeah, these Empire Knights need to retreat like super quickly. Though they're doing good damage, the Waystalkers are getting poked a little bit. The Wood Elf missiles will get in position. The Glade Guard will shoot. And you got to run now. Those Zoats will just annihilate Empire Knights like really, really badly. State Troopers moving up on all 3 objectives. Looking at the value trading, it does slightly favor the hardwood right now. And do we see a cannon coming up? Nope, it's going to be more Empire Knights. Another Arrow of Kurnus comes in, but doesn't manage to kill a wagon model, which has got to feel pretty bad for the Wood Elves. And this Empire Spear unit is being sacrificed to SIGMAR to hold back the Zoats for now, and it would appear they would. State Troopers moving into the backfield, so the numbers of the State Troopers certainly adding up as we get Swordsmen getting on top of the Hawkeyes of Jakira. If somehow Charix blunders and loses these very expensive Way Watchers, they're like 1,500 gold or something. That's going to be very, very bad. So we see the cavalry coming in from outer region. The spears are holding the Zoats in place, and now there's going to be some sort of witchcraft going down. Is it going to be flesh to stone? Oh, I like that. 60% physical resistance is going to be very strong, and now we see Glade Riders moving up to intercept. They will lose that fight, but a lot of Empire troopers have made it into melee combat with the archers in the back line, which has got to feel pretty bad. Over on the side point, Burning Head going down. Looks like it did roast those War Dancers, so they got pushed back, and Boris Todbringer is continuing to hold this flank with his spears, and his Burning Heads as now the double huntsmen are being called up to the front to support. So yeah, leaving these Empire Knights here isn't a bad idea. They've gotten a ton of damage on the Glade Guard, and also will do some respectable damage against the Glade Riders. Swordsmen here chasing down these missile pieces, so 2 archers are on the run for the Wood Elves, so certainly need to do some peeling in their backfield, or they're going to have a bad time. Huntsmen getting in a good position for outer region. Really nice. They will put some big peppering damage down into the Zoats, but Charix is very quick to react here. Uses Loic's Blessing to give them speed, and also Earthbloods them to make them take a little bit less damage. Well, they take the damage, but then it heals, but you guys get the general idea. Mortar Wagon still shelling away, and they appear to be shooting at the Glade Guard here. Probably should switch on to the Hawkeyes of Jakira, considering they have vision. Granted, they are in loose formation, so Mortars might not be quite as impactful. Value trading is really, really close. Wood Elves do have healing, and the Empire doesn't have too much healing, so that is something to kind of take into account here. Missiles still shooting away, and how have they done against Zoats? The Zoats are down to about 70%, but Zoats do have missile resist of 25% and 60 armor, so they're somewhat resilient against missiles. It's not like an auto kill, not something that's very, very squishy here. And the Empire does appear to be getting pushed back on a couple fronts. The Wood Elves are a little bit resurgent now. They push back the initial wave, but there are some random State Troopers left in the backfield, so outer region needs to be really on point with this and get these guys like chasing those missiles now to just disrupt to the back of the Wood Elf field. And here comes the counter push from the Wood Elf. So Glade Riders with spears getting on top of the Huntsman here. Feels pretty bad. I would imagine the Empire will call out some heavy cavalry. So we do see Empire Knights and Knights of the Blazing Sun, one of my favorite choices against Wood Elves, because they wreck Dryads so badly. And they also do have magic resist, which is good against Melkoths, which is very, very meta for the Wood Elves. So we are going to be seeing the end of these Glade Riders. They're going to get pounded. Huntsman should be back online. Objective here being held by the Sons of Sigmar and Boris Todbringer. So Toddy's got his mustache out, and he is shield bashing some of these War Dancers. Certainly not doing bad with his big, extravagant feathers. Just looking super badass. Oh, look at this. Lost Sylvan Knights being called in. So we get the tech, baby. The Sylvan Knights will counter much of the Empire Heavy Cavalry, and are certainly tough to kill. I don't think we have Hammer of the Witches in here, which is kind of a bit of a tech against them as well. But the Empire is threatening to take this back objective. They do have 2 spears here trying, but the Lost Sylvan Knights arriving will change that. Really nice Burning Head coming in from the Empire, hitting the Glade Guard and some of the other missile pieces. But the Empire is also going to be getting a second wave of their own heavy cav. The Huntsmen have both been stabilized, so now both Huntsman units are going to be moving up to start supporting again. And the Empire heavy cav can kind of fan out and press a couple different directions and move into the archers or run down some of the infantry here with spear support. But yeah, that's going to be tough for the Empire to deal with. Dealing with the Great Stag Knight elites, man, that could actually be surprisingly hard. So Lost Sylvan Knights are cruising for a bruise, and they move into the front. Empire Knights here getting run down, but those State Troopers Definitely very annoying. Their spears will be able to poke the Sylvan Knights and do a decent amount of damage. Meanwhile, the Empire Heavy Cav thundering through the Wood Elf lines, getting into the archer position as well. We see that, oh, brutal damage, and that's going to be nasty. So that was, I believe, Loic's Blessing. But the Knights of the Blazing Sun get right into the cookie jar. They are able to smash one of the archer units. Now get attacked by 2 units of Glade Riders, but they should hold their own there relatively well. And Empire Knights here need to come in and help out the homies. Definitely rear charge here and help. A couple of archer units have moved up, and the back objective under a little bit of threat. Another Knights of the Blazing Sun is on the way out, and they'll be good against most of these units, but not the Zoats. The Zoats have actually been a big player this game. They've been very menacing. Is the Empire going to call in some state troopers or something here? They really need to reinforce objective 1. Wood Elves might be able to flip it. We'll have to see. Knights of the Blazing Sun doing some respectable damage, but Zoats will hard counter them very well. Although these guys have, they have spell resist. Obviously won't help against the magic damage. Huntsman maybe going to be able to turn the tide of the fight. We'll have to see. It is 2 Huntsman units. Their anti-large shots will certainly sing into the hides of these Zoats. This point here, stolen by the Empire. So the Empire State Troopers did steal the home objective of the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves made a very desperate dive towards objective 1, but the Empire State Troopers were able to steal objective 2 during all that, which is very brutal. And now we're going to probably be seeing the end of the Huntsman, as we do see the detaching Knights of the Knights of the Sylvan Throne. Lost Sylvan Knights. They're going to be heading across, and it is going to be some State Troopers rushing up to try and help out. So here they come, running down the hill. There they go, and oh man, they do get a little bit of DPS in. Not a ton of burst damage. And the Empire does respond with grenade launchers, and their Knights of the Blazing Sun are trying to escape this engagement to come and help. This objective being taken back by Dryads. A couple of AFK units here. Definitely need to move them some direction so they're at least contesting. Wood Elves look like they might be able to threaten the side objective, though. They do have the Waystalker here, and also a fair amount of units, including the Bird Lady. Might be able to help, but the Empire Knights and the armor really resilient here in this matchup, as the value trading is almost that even. It's about 800. It's very close. Sylvan Knights, though, doing work, and also Mortar Wagon's going to be getting pounded here, so could this be a resurgence for the Wood Elves? They take down both Huntsmen, and they're also catching one of the Mortar Wagons here with a bunch of anti-large beat sticks. So those Mortar Wagons definitely going to be taking the brunt of the beating. As we see the War Dancers here starting to grind on the objective. And every objective is looking a little bit shady for Sigmar. Sigmar is closing in on 1,000 points. And the Empire does have plenty of time to kind of claw back. Like, looking at the point score, it's 935 to 161. Currently, the Empire does have a triple cap. But I think the Wood Elves are going to start flipping a multitude of these objectives. Lost Sylvan Knights moving into combat versus the Free Company Militia. More Free Company being called out by Outer Region. Pacharix has reclaimed his back objective for the Sylvan Realm. Waystalkers and Dryads clearing out the State Troopers. And Boris Todbringer is kind of running out of steam over here a little bit. Looks like he's battling and karate kicking many of these elves. But objective number 3 does go to the Wood Elves here in a moment. And the Empire is barely holding on to its back objective. This is a very good back and forth game. Now, Empire is in a position where they can Helm's Deep. They'll easily win the game on just one objective, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that easily. Really nice crossfire here. But the Sylvan Knights, like, just going out on their shield, man. Currently getting 1,400 value, just terror routing units. Really just super difficult to get rid of here for the Empire, who doesn't appear to have any direct magic. Certainly wishing he probably brought a Flaming Sword of Ruin to try and DPS those guys down. But the Wood Elves are now coming for that triple cap, and Outer Region might be in big danger here. His Huntsmen have rallied in the tree. Boris Todbringer is still alive, but probably not for long. The Great Eagle is duking it out, and you can see the Great Eagle has used Flesh to Stone to give it some ward save. So Toddy might lose this fight against this Giant Pigeon, sitting at about 1,000 HP. Toddy does have really good combat stats comparatively, though. 60 and 50 against 44 and 30. Maybe Toddy can do something. I don't know. He hasn't been hit in a while. The bird has failed pretty much most of his attacks because of his high melee defense, but... Oh, is the Empire holding on? Nope, Wood Elves are holding on here. The Bright Wizard is having a bit of a duel with the Waystalker. Certainly not going to go well. Bright Wizard's at literally 1%. So, oh, he goes... Oh, look at that! The Flaming Sword to the face strategy. I like that. Currently, Bright Wizard at 300 HP, and he's going to be shattering. So, hey, at least he's probably going to live, unless this Waystalker decides to chase him. So, he got that sword shank right in the old face there. Now, looking towards Objective 1, the Empire's going to be fighting tooth and nail to get this one back, and certainly will have the capability of doing so. Now that the Sylvan Knight momentum has been broken, we could see Outer Region scrap this objective back, and he's still within single cap win. Like, he can win on just one objective if he gets this. Free Company Militia putting work down, State Troopers moving up, Huntsmen, grenade launchers also on their way. Got to be very careful with the grenade launchers. Don't move them in melee combat here. Looks like they tried to dive the Hawkeyes of Drakira and do end up getting the kill, but yeah, the Empire Knights really going to cause a lot of havoc here in tandem with this like light firepower, right? Should be pretty nasty. Toddy's still going, man. He didn't hear no bell. Toddy's like still fighting over here. He's like, all right, who's next? And the War Dancer is going to be chasing him down. If Toddy can move towards Objective 3, he could at the very least, contest it. Also, trying to get Toddy back to your home objective would, I think, be very, very strong here. Oh, come on, no disconnects, please. For the love of God, this has been a really good game. Like, this is like too close. This would have to be a replay, sadly. Yeah, because this is just such a close one. All right, Charx dropped for the game. Oh, no. Ooh, that's hard to say, because Empire looks like they were going to take that back objective back and maybe win. But, yeah, I think at that point, I think in the rules, if you drop after the 5-minute point, you just lose. Yeah, unless the players both want to replay it, I think that would probably go to the Sons of Sigmar. Because they let me see what current rules I have for this event. Yeah, because obviously that would be the priority. So, all right. So, if it is clear who would have won, give the game to the player. Else, win goes to the person that didn't DLC. Yeah, didn't DC. Yep. So that is going to be going to the Empire, which I think the Empire was going to win anyways. Because the value was more or less even. They had the home field advantage. They only needed to hold on one objective, and the Wood Elves were kind of out of steam. All their archers were gone. All their ammunition was gone. I would say with probably 70% certainty that the Empire wins that game. But yeah, I think the Empire had that, and I think most people would agree as well. Well played. Win goes to Outer. Okay, so Outer Region, report that score, and we'll go from there. They had a slight chance, but yeah, with the disconnect that late, you know, it's that's really tough. That's really, really tough. Okay, so let's check the other side of the bracket. See how we're looking here. Update the tournament. I had Baba Yaga on the thumbnail. I thought there would be a lot of Kislev today. Since Akshina got nerfed, I was like, oh, maybe people will try playing them again, you know, but didn't appear to be the case. All right, finalizing the tournaments. And there we are. Yeah, Wood Elves definitely had a chance. It's true, they did. They weren't out of that game. It was looking tough for them, though. Yeah. All right. Classic peer-to-peer connections. You gotta love them, dude. Hey, Outer Region, how you doing, man? Yeah, I want to Kislev, but didn't want to try hard too much. Yeah, Empire's good, too, though. Empire's solid. They're a good faction. All right, so Outer Region, report that score. And you're going to be waiting for the finalists of the other side. Yeah. I wish there was a way to know if someone disconnects on purpose or if it's a technical issue. That was a drop. He dropped from the game. Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to tell the difference. He might have just left. Maybe he left. Because he didn't say anything in Discord. He didn't say anything. So he could have just dropped from the game. Like closed the entire game. I don't know. I don't know. Sad hag noises, I know. Sad mother stank noises. Mortar Wagon's got good value for sure. That was a really good game. That was a really, really good game. He's talking to you? Yeah, what did he say? His internet? He crashed, yeah. He did indeed. He did indeed. So other match should be finishing up here in a second. I'm of the opinion that you had that game Outer Region because you could win on a single cap. The value is dead even, and you had a huge momentum shift at the end where you were going to easily retake your home objective and clean up a lot of his units there. But it doesn't mean that he couldn't have won also. It was still close. But I would say 70-30 for you. But granted, the rules read that if somebody crashes in the late game, you know, it's going to go to the, unless it's really obvious who's going to win. Then the admin can make a judgment call. But in this case, yeah. Yeah, it was going to help deep. Toddy survived somehow. Yeah, Toddy's a beast, dude. Toddy's a beast. He's great. He's kind of like a little Sigvald, right? He's like the Empire Sigvald, just probably even cheaper. Although I think Sigvald's better, right? Let's look at like Foot Toddy. All right, so let's go look here. We're gonna have our grand finals. Cool to see the Empire in the grand finals, I have to say. It's very fun. All right, so battle versus AI. And man, the game is just like struggling right now. Okay. So Foot Toddy, where's he at? And then we can make you Warriors of Chaos. God, how cool is this game? Like, look at all the factions we have. Like, for all the grief we give Total War Warhammer, it's like, goddamn. Like, this is an accomplishment, man. Like, porting all these awesome factions from, like, one of the coolest IPs ever into, like, a RTS game is like, dude, that's so rad. It's easy to kind of get down on it when you've been, like, playing it for, like, 7 years, you know? But, like, man, it's, like, it's pretty glorious. All right, so let's go to Sigvald. Yes. Yeah, so the Sigvald kit you would bring, probably like maybe Paragon of Excess and Auric Armor would probably be like standard. And then for Toddy, you would have Toddy, the ideal foot kit would probably be, yeah, like this is a good kit. That's actually a really good debuff. -8 melee attack's huge. You probably, I mean, Crush the Weak is also a good one. Yeah, that can be pretty impactful because then he can be like a leadership bomb on the objective too. Yeah, do we have any mods in chat who could drop a Discord link? If not, you know, I can take care of that in just a minute. Yeah, 1400 against 1550. Sigvald is 70, 60, 520. Toddy is 60, 50, 430. That's a massive combat discrepancy. Sigvald's HP is 5.2. Toddy's HP is 4.2. Jesus, that is a stat difference. Sigvald, I believe, also has perfect vigor. Yeah, Sigvald's basically better in every way. But again, Toddy has the variance of having a mount option. Sigvald doesn't, so, you know. So Sigvald's very much like a dedicated foot character. But, yeah, Sigvald's a beast. He is a beast. All right, so let me get the Discord channel. So let me do this. All right. Do that, and here we go. Okay. Come join the party. When you first join the Discord, at the very top section of the website, there's a place where you select what games you're interested in. So if you pick Warhammer, you'll only get pings for Warhammer. If you pick Age, you get Age pings, or you can pick a bunch, you know, and you'll get pings for all of them. But it just depends on the game there. So, all right. So Charix and Outer Region have finished. The other side is still going down, and Scrambled Egg Special is playing what? He was playing, I think. Yeah, we have Dark Elves on the other side. So Dark Elves vs Empire is a very classic matchup. That's a matchup I've played 1,000 times. Hey, Glorfindel, how you doing? Thank you for the 50. Happy holidays. Let's help this. Hey, thank you. I feel like when we get, maybe when we reach 200,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll do an Applebee's. We'll do a celebratory Applebee's dinner with my wife and I, and we'll film a thank you from there. Yeah. Toddy got removed from the game. Only the Changeling is left. Yeah. Changeling probably still is never viable, right? The only time I had success with the Changeling was actually versus Outer Region on that land battle game. So what you do is, like, you have the Changeling as an actual caster. So you just bring him with you bring him as Aecold. Aecold's like insanely good. Like insane, right? So you have him as Aecold, and you bring just like Blue Fire or Pink Fire or whatever, right? Or the Vortex. And then you switch into, you use your magic, and then you switch into Aecold while you're waiting for your magic to come back. And it's actually not bad. It's pretty strong. That was like the only time I've seen him work. We'll all get kicked out of Applebee's together like a family should. Exactly. A tailgate in Applebee's with chat. Oh, that would be pretty fun. Yeah, we like sit in the driveway and just like order a feast. Just have a giant trash can to throw up in. That'd be so stupid, dude. What's the equivalent of yeah, I guess like Weatherspoons would be like if I was in the UK, right? So in America, yeah, we have like really crappy diners here. We have like Denny's, we have Applebee's, like all these really awful corporate diners, right? In the UK, you have Weatherspoons, right? Like, what are some examples of this in other parts of the world, like in your countries? But also give us like some detail too. Don't just like give its name. Like give us the name of the chain or the restaurant chain, and like the correlation with like what we have here, and like why is it Haggard? Who goes there? You know, like those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Scrambled Egg Special. Oh, he's Vampire Coast, is he? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Did he make it to the finals? I hope we see Vampire Coast. I haven't seen them in a long time. IHOP is pretty rough, yeah. IHOP is pretty rough. Yeah, it's a rough one. The thing is, like, those type of restaurants, they attract a lot of the people. Yeah, I've some of the chefs I've seen in like Denny's at like 3 a.m. You're like, yeah, like that. Yeah, that guy probably shouldn't be cooking my food. You know, but you just roll with it, man. Hey, I used to go to Denny's. Italian Spartacus and I, when he still hung out with me, we used to go to Denny's in 2007. We would play World of Warcraft from like 6 p.m. to like 4 a.m. And then we would go to Denny's at like 4 a.m. just get the most disgusting breakfast plates ever, and we would just be like dying the next morning. It was like, okay. So I'm reading here. Feel like Olive Garden would be more appropriate for this channel. Well, that's for Age of Empires, yeah. Olive Gardens. Perkins is in Canada. The waitresses are haggard but sweethearted. That's my favorite though. Like, I love diners that have like a sweet grandma serving you. That's like, That's my favorite. I love diners. Like old school American diners are my favorite food in the world, with like some very like sweet grandma just like taking care of your table. That's the best. It's called MC Goofy. They got sued, so now it's just Goofy, but they make the best, nastiest burgers ever. Hell yeah, dude. Started out as a guy selling hot dogs in the back of his car. What? Yeah. St. Hubert in Canada, it's rotisserie chicken. That doesn't sound too bad, as long as they don't undercook it. The Grand Slam? Yeah. What is it with New Jersey and diners? Yeah, that's actually true. So I have one of my grandparents, when they were still alive, lived in New Jersey. I have family from there. And when I went to go visit, it was just so many like diners everywhere. They're all over the place. Like just classic diners. So I have enjoyed Applebee's from time to time, yes. We have a diner near us, which is like a 1950s diner with like jukeboxes and stuff, and it has like all 1950s decor, and I love going there. It's my favorite. Like going to see a movie and then like sitting there and eating. Oh, it's great. No. Spartacus and I didn't actually have a falling out, no. But that was when we were in college. We lived across the hall from one another, and now we don't, obviously. So, you know. Yeah. Those were some wild times, man. Raiding WoW till like 4 a.m. and doing arena, just all sweaty. Oh my god, I remember that. Diners on every corner in New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that. It's like a culture thing. Sorry guys, we're still waiting for the game to start. Finish, excuse me. You can see here they're still playing it out the other side. So we're just kind of waiting a minute. So bear with me, my friends. We'll just kind of rant about random shit and, you know, hang out. All right. Nation's Giant Hamburgers in California has done some good. I haven't had that actually. In Ireland, a lot of nightclubs will do a carvery lunch during the day, but you can still smell the beer from the night before in the better establishments. Nice. Man. You know, I never like really enjoyed beer that much until I turned 35. And then something clicked where if I can get like a really thick stout that has like a hint of chocolate and caramel or something in it, my God, it's so good. Oh, I think that's why I've gained a little bit of weight recently. Yeah. It's great, man. I wish we had more diners in the South. You would think the South would have a lot of diners, right? Yeah. Yeah. You think they would? Any land battle plans? Maybe a faction war. Maybe, yeah. I'll probably do one. I'll probably do a faction war when I get back in January, but I'm going to be super busy in January and February because we're still going to be doing consistent Age of Empires and Total War streams like we do now, with Dune thrown in. Those are probably going to be the 3 main games I cover. But give the beer. Yeah, my wife is the one who turned me on to the chocolate stouts. Yeah, 100%. We were at a local grocery store and she like spotted it with her Hawkeye. Yeah, it was, and now I'm gaining weight. Beer belly confirmed. Not too bad. I'm a lightweight, thankfully. So, yeah. We don't got diners, we got soul food. Yeah, soul food's good. The fattest I've ever gotten in my life was from Filipino food, though. You know? Oh my God, Filipino food, Jesus. Have you guys seen what this stuff looks like? It's so good. Okay, let's find this. Images. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, just look at this. So I used to work at a company where like 80% of the employees were Filipino. And this was my first job out of college. And I gained so much weight. Hold on a second. This looks good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So here we are. Yeah, dude. Like, look at this. Oh, God. Yes. The pancit, the lumpia, the chicken adobo. Oh, God. Like this Filipino breakfast with like oh, God. I got so fat. Filipino. This was the wildest one. You guys, it's kind of blurry, but this lechon, it's like a full-on just like fried pig. And they brought it to our Christmas party, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" People are just like picking the skin off it. It was wild. Yeah, Filipinos don't mess around with food, dude. It's so good. Yeah, these pigs, the lechon. They had a Christmas party and they brought a lechon. This thing, dude, I was so shocked. There was like me and one other employee there who were not Filipino, and we're like, "What the hell is that? Is that like a full pig on a stick?" It's crazy. Yeah, but Filipino food is really good. I got so fat eating it. I got so fat. Oh God. We once had a lumpia eating contest at our office, and I actually ended up winning it. which was great because I was working out a lot of the time so I could eat a lot, and I won the Lumpia contest. It was cool. Yeah, that was fun. This Total War Warhammer 3 update is crazy. Lechon, yeah. Fried wild hog. That's totally, yeah, Greasus would eat that. That's like a Greasus food. You know? That's like Greasus eating right there. Yeah, Filipino culture is great. I 100% agree. They're just awesome people, man. I love. I have so many great friends who are Filipino, and their culture is awesome. You know, Filipino moms are just the coolest ever. You know, it was just one of my really close friends in college was his dad was American and his mom was Filipino, and whenever we would go there, she would just have these like glorious treats for us. It was great. All right, so where are we at? So refreshing. Those guys are taking their sweet time. Goodness gracious. We've been done for a while, and our game was like back and forth too. So I suspect that they're gonna be done soon. Did his best Kugath impression? Yeah. Oh, it's done? Oh, sounds good. They just didn't report the score? You guys better not have started without me, man. Which lobby are you in? This one? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Aha, I guessed it. There's an extra 4 at the end. Okay, so it's, oh, wait, what? Oh, they just finished their game. Okay, they just finished it. Okay. So out of region, go ahead and host the lobby so I can join up. Yeah. They just finished that. I don't know who won it, though. Which national cuisine would ogres like the most? Ooh. Honestly, probably American food, dude. Just like fast food and shit. Yeah. Just like greasy, heavy, like massive portions. Like, having traveled to a couple of European countries, their portions are much healthier, much smaller than ours, right? Much smaller. Ogres would not like that. Like, if you sat Greasus down at like, I think a Western European like food table, he would just like look at the size of the plate and be like, what? But if you sat homeboy Greasus down at like an American like Denny's or like any corporate diner, like a BJ's, like any of those places that are just like copy pasta, like huge portions, like he would be all about that, dude. Yeah, Greasus would probably be like Southern barbecue, American. Yeah, like Greasus would like Texas. Yeah, U.S. fast food for ogres, Texas. Yeah, 100%. So all right, let's get that, and the lobby's up. Hopefully you've had fun just like with this stupid discussion. Yeah, I'm sorry about the downtime. It's nothing we can do in Total War. You got to wait for it. So yeah. Oh, Golden Corral. Yeah, dude. All those kind of places. Poland has very good portions though too. Like, it's not as big as American portions, but and all the times I've been to Poland, like I usually leave restaurants pretty satisfied, and that's coming from like a a chunky American perspective. Yeah, like whereas I don't know what countries have I been in that has small. Canada's portions were not as big. Yeah, Canada's portions were definitely not as big as ours, at least in the anecdotal. I spent a couple summers there. My dad was in the 90s was filming a TV show in Canada, and my parents divorced when I was very young, so they had split custody, not split custody, but I would stay with my dad for like 2 or 3 months in the summer and then come back to California for the school year and stuff. Only for 2 years, but I spent about 2 summers, a summer and a half more or less in Canada, and the food was not bad up there for sure, but yeah, the portions were much smaller if I remember correctly. Yeah, India does not mess around. Yeah, Indian restaurants do not mess around with portion size. That's very true. We have a place near us that we really like, and their plates are just ginormous, dude. Huge, which I love, you know. Have you released a lizard minute? Hey, Allied, how you doing, man? I love Indian food. Indian food's in my top 5 for sure. So Empire versus Vampire Coast is going to be our finals. We'll get into the analysis a little bit once they load in here, but yeah, for now we're just kind of hanging out. Empire versus Vampire. There's going to be a ton of units. Like, Vampire Coast in this matchup, how do you play this? Probably just mass deck gunners, bomber mobs backed up by hand cannon mobs behind them to deal with any cavalry. Artillery dueling could happen for sure. Scurvy dogs and fellbats, 100%. Germany has pretty big portions. Yeah, I've only ever laid over in Germany. I've never spent a lot of time there. Like, I've spent a lot of time at German airports, so... Turns that as a movie star a long time ago. Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah, for sure. And Greece portions used to be huge before. Yeah. So my wife and I basically went on our honeymoon essentially on Greece. We went to Crete. which was awesome. Yeah, I loved the Greek food. I loved it, like the gyros and just like all the meat was really good in Greece, for sure. But like we were also in a very touristy area, so I don't know if that gave us like a true kind of sample of Greek cuisine. But I really had a good time in Greece. I loved it there. It was beautiful. I remember just like laying on the sands of Crete, like on the coast, on the beach, and just being like, you could just feel the history. You could feel it. It was rad. Triple necrophex. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, U.S. portions are massive. I mean, almost every Europe, most. Yeah, I had a couple friends in college from Europe and a couple from Asia. I had my homie Jacopo from Italy, and Joachim from Germany. Yeah, Lingjing from China. They all gained like a good chunk of weight when they moved here. Like Lingjing went from being like 115 pounds, like 5'3", to like 5'3", 240. He got huge eating American cuisine. Yeah, like everyone got pretty big eating our food. Yeah. If you're not careful, you can blow up here. Yeah, you really can. It'll get you. That was back when Subway had $5 footlongs. Now, like you go to Subway now, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna get a sandwich and chips and a drink, and it's like, oh, that'll be like $16. You're like, why the hell am I at Subway, dude? I could go to like a good craft house and get like a great burger for this price, Yeah, it's just weird, dude. Always weird how Warhammer attorneys always turn into half podcasts due to those long wait times. Yeah, well, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. Yeah. Empire, it could be an artillery duel. It really could. Empire's probably going to have a ton of huntsmen. Huntsmen are really good in this matchup. Loose formation, they counter a lot of the light armor. They can deal with monsters. I think like 4 huntsmen are good. Outer Region says, I go to South Korea. My relatives always try to feed me stuff. I get fat there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's something, man. It's something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for some pierogi for the holidays. Poland's gonna handle business, I would imagine. America will do that. I remember bringing my Japanese friend for wing night, and he was shocked at how much we put away. Yeah. Well, I've noticed. I went to a boarding school in high school. I was a day student, so I wasn't like from far away, but we had a lot of Japanese students, and they were all very like lean and ate very healthy compared to the American students. Like they were very disciplined with their diets. Some of them, not all of them, but yeah. Isn't their foot long 11 inches? Probably, yeah, that's what she said. But it's somewhere around there. It could be a gunline battle. Embrace Empire archers. Yeah, archer spam isn't bad. They're really cheap. You can definitely go hard on the archers here. But I think huntsmen are way better, personally. I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't played a lot. I just kind of log on with my boy Supachine, play a couple games. I'm very rusty in the meta right now. But yeah, I think huntsmen are the preferred choice here. Loose formation is so nice, and obviously stalk is so good for creeping and avoiding artillery. Yeah, so it's strong. You're playing EverQuest. Holy shit, are you playing the original EverQuest? Damn, dude. I was playing Ultima Online for like a year. That was really fun. Holy, Ultima Online, like hearing that theme music, it just makes me like weep for a time that's been lost. I was just like, oh my God, I remember this. I remember hearing this sound in like 1997. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Coast. Holy shit, look at that Coast build. God damn. Hey, I don't know if that's a meme or what, but that's 4 cannons and 5 deck gunners. And the Empire is definitely going to feel the wrath of that artillery. But Empire might be able to just use the trees and avoid it, which could be the end of the coast. That's my only concern here, is that the Empire is going to use the tree lines on the side when they see that, and they're going to avoid a lot of that. But holy shit, that's a build. 4 cannons and 5 deck gunners is serious. God damn, that is a fat artillery cannon army. I don't think it's going to work. I think Outer Region's going to find a way to beat that. But I would love for it to work, as much as I like seeing the Empire win a single faction tournament. That doesn't happen often, but I would, oh man. That's a straight DACA build. But like on this map, it's kind of risky. Because the Empire has a lot of, oh wait, did they change it? Oh, it looks like the map got changed a little bit maybe. Yeah, no, it's about the same. Yeah, the trees are even thicker actually on the side with the cherry blossoms. Gunpowder galore, I know. Coast Cackle, yeah, they are. They really are. All right, so taking a look at Vampire Coast Army, cannons will be good against Empire Knights, good against enemy cannons, enemy artillery, wagons. Not amazing against like ground-based troopers, but not awful either. We do have a couple of deckhand mobs, and then 5 deck hunters are kind of good utility against most things. They can shoot a lot of different targets and do good damage, but Yeah, this is just some hog wild shit coming in from Scrambled Egg Special. He truly is the special here. Vampire Fleet Captain, Vampires, Van Hell's Dance Kebab, and also we do have the Invocation of Nehek. So weird choice here. Von Hell's doesn't seem very useful against Empire, but I'm curious to see what he's going to be using that on. Now, looking at Scrambled Egg Special, not Scrambled Egg, but Outer Region, he's got a classic anti-coast build. Huntsman spam, Huntsman counter a lot of the coast roster. Toddy on foot seems to be kind of the meta, but Toddy is good against coast. Sigvald's good against coast, kind of the same territory. He can go chase artillery and he's really hard to kill. And then you just burning head their formations of zombies. So, man, I do not know how this is going to unfold. This is weird. Deck Gunners are great if you can protect them, but God, they are glass cannons. Like if Deck Gunners take any firepower, they just start crumbling. They have less than 4,000 HP. They have half the HP of like a Spearman unit, for example. So, yeah, that's rough. Coast is going to have to call out a ton of infantry to buffer this, because I don't know if their stopping power is going to be enough to really wreck this Empire army like that quickly. And the Empire is probably going to do this. Probably going to start detaching troopers up through the tree line to flank, and that's going to be really, really tough. Really, really tough. All hail the mighty. You guys remember when the Vampire Coast came out, how epic that was? That was probably one of my favorite points for Warhammer multiplayer, was the Vampire Coast release, and then we had that really fun Everchosen. Back when Dogbert was at CA. Oh, that was so fun, dude. And we had the Everchosen in the UK and all the Vampire Coast stuff. That was so good. That was the one that I think Aero Krastic won. I think he won that one, if memory serves. Yeah, in round one, he played the Empire and defeated the Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast was very OP back then, too. That was back when, like, Death Guard could solo, like, 15 units. Yeah, it was nuts. All right, so Empire's probably, like, looking at this build, like, what the hell is this shit? And we see zombies being called out, so the first wave of deckhand mobs are out, and yeah, now the cannons should be unleashing. They're not shooting yet. The Empire is standing its ground. No, Empire's rushing. Wow, they're going straight through the fire. Look at that. Wow, okay. So they're moving up, and they're going to get it going, man. Here they come. Yeah, those were the good old days for sure. That was fun. That was very fun. Yeah, Professor Bone. Yeah. Well, back then, the individual who helped me organize the Everchosens was Dogbert. He worked at CA, and he had an esports background. He was also one of my close friends. So we were able to like really, really make some cool events happen because he was on the inside of CA, like really pushing for these fun events, right? We had a couple more after, but they were never the same. A lot of it can be blamed on the Rona, though. Rona also screwed it up, the in-person events. Anyways, the Empire's bum rushing, guys, and the powder is shooting, but like, I don't know if it's enough damage, guys. I can't help but think that this Vampire Coast army is going to get folded up super quick. The Deck Gunners need to shoot. There needs to be zombies creating buffering here, because if the Empire can just rush them and not, like, you know, take that much damage, it's going to be rough. So, firstly, we see the firepower. Shooting at Toddy is a bit of a mistake. Cannon shooting in. Bright Wizard takes some work. Now we see some Empire Knights on the way up on the flanks. And this is going to be an extremely one-sided game, in my opinion. Extremely, extremely one-sided. I think the Empire is going to close the distance. Probably kill a couple Deck Gunners very quickly. You can see the Huntsmen getting in range already. I mean, that is a lot of damage going down, I guess. Here you can see the Huntsmen are getting DACA'd. Another one could get focus fired. One of the Empire Spearmen has paid the Troll Toll. But how are they going to be stopping the flank on the side, right? These Empire Knights just coming in with a full erection, certainly eyeing these carronades. Like, how do you stop that? Do you think that your 23-speed zombies are going to be able to keep pace with them? I think all the Deck Gunners need to turn about face and start mowing down the Empire Knights. That's probably your only chance. Huntsman in range, one Deck Gunner getting cooked, so Burning Head will crumble their leadership, and also the Huntsman firepower is going to be pretty solid. We see a little bit of damage going down from Scrambled Egg Special, and now I'm starting to understand why the games took a little bit longer. Could be a lag thing, but yeah. Maybe the Empire Knights get caught by those halberds. Maybe. No, they're going to get right on through there, and they're just going to plow. Oh my god, dude, this is going to be so one-sided. Well, at least it's funny, right? Like, all of this is just open. Toddy has heard no bell. He's like, SIGMAR needs a tournament win. Give it to me. He's charging through, and he is going to be just bullying this Vampire Coast backline, who's now trying to do a little bit of crossfire. I think like a handgunner build would have been a better middle ground. We do see Scurvy Dogs engaging against the Empire Knights, but one unit of Deck Gunners is offline. The Empire has already equalized the value, and this is about to just be so brutal. Oh my god, the Empire's just moving in. The Coast Army is so haggard. Just folding like a piece of paper. Like 4 cannons and 4 Deck Gunners is way too much to protect against a good player. And now we see the Empire Knights moving in, and if it had been an artillery duel, this build could have been good. Like if the Empire came in with like cannons, maybe. But like the whole backfield is going to be eviscerated. We see the Deck Gunners crumbling. Empire Knights are there. We see some animated Hulks coming out. And this is looking really, really one-sided. But at least it was funny, you know? He did a little bit of damage on the way in, but the Empire is going to triple cap them. Zombies will not hold their own against State Troopers. Stat line's too big, right? Like 14 and 24 against 22 and 42. It's a huge stat difference. But Sigmar is certainly blessing this Ravaged body today. I'm motivated. I'm going to go paint some State Troopers tonight, I think. This is looking like it is going to be the end of the road. And, yeah, nothing else going on. Animated Hulk's being pulled out, but, like, yeah, come on. We see the cannons going down. Deck Gunner is going to be crumbling shortly after. State Troopers pushing into the spawn. And Outer Region did not hesitate whatsoever. He just moved in. Just no respect on those cannons. Cannons are really dog shit at killing infantry. They're not, like, it's not, like, awful, but it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty bad, actually. So, like, the cannons couldn't stop the infantry advance. He needed a dreaded Queen Bess. So, yeah, this cannon's going to die. Both of these are going to die to one Empire unit. And now it's just going to be the Scrambled Egg Special pouring out Animated Hulks, which the Empire has Huntsmen in position. They have Spears. Knights of the Blazing Sun will eviscerate them as well. Zombies are crumbling on pretty much every objective. And this was yeah, my man brought an early game campaign army. Yeah, he thought that he could corner camp the AI and just gat them down, but he really did bring an early game campaign army, yeah. And thankfully he spared us. GG, well played. A funny ending. I think that was a good ending. It was a bit one-sided, but it was fun. You know, we got excited for a moment, and it's a win-win. Empire, hey, look, Empire wins, everybody's happy. Coast wins with the meme build, everybody's happy. It's great. So, all right. GG, well played. All right, so that's going to be it. Today's winner is going to be the Sons of Sigmar, Outer Region, bringing one home for our boy Sigmar. Thank you for the donation, Nick. Greatly appreciate it for Sigmar and for the Warhammer. All day, every day, baby. So that's going to be it. I appreciate you all. That was a lot of fun, but that is going to be the end of the road for today's tournament. Nice little clean 3-hour stream there, and hopefully you enjoyed the rants about fast food and all that other good stuff. Always a good time. And yeah, a lot of close games today. A lot, except the finals. That was not close at all. But no, that's going to be it. I got to rest my hands. They're a little bit beat up from all the H streaming I've been doing, so I need to chill out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. If you want more hot, sweaty Warhammer action on the channel, please do drop a like on the way out. It helps a lot. Helps keep the old boat afloat. And that is going to be it for today. So GG, well played. Adios, Do Widzenia. See you guys on the other side. Happy holidays to all of you. And we'll be streaming Warhammer again before I leave. So I leave in 6 days. We'll have at least one more Warhammer tournament before then. Probably another Age tournament, as well as a Dune stream and videos going up as well. So that's it. Take care of yourselves. Adios, my friends. And we'll see you all on the other side. Sigmar bless this ravaged body. And prepare yourselves for the old world. The old world calls. And it is going to be coming soon. So I'm very excited for that. GG, well played. Adios, guys.